you touched your knee to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. News. News.
Well, all right then. Jeez, that is odd. Does it do it like that? You got like a preview video and then the main one that you're seeing now. But it's doing the exact opposite, where the theme song and all that plays first in the preview, and so it's like a couple of seconds behind or something like that. And then the live one, it comes out later, but it was the exact opposite, so I couldn't adjust the image here. It's always something. First things first. There we go. I can hear the audio on the video, so that's working. Of course, I did the test to make damn sure that it worked, and it appears it does. Next time, probably won't. You just never know with this damn thing. Curiously enough, the little mic icon that shows you that it's working, when it's not working, it shows me it's working. Right now, it's telling me it's not working. But it is. Hey, if you can figure it out, let me know in the shot. Nodak says hit the like button. And that's a very good point, Nodak. It is. You want to know why? Like buttons, what do they like? Well, I know you think, hey, it's indicating I like the show or the channel and all that sort of stuff. And sure, but for the button itself, it likes to be hit. Hey, look, none of my business, to each their own. But anyway, it's good of Nodak to remind everyone of this strange, if not disturbing, fact, but a fact nonetheless. So, take it from Nodak and hit the like button. I don't know. I suppose you could rearrange it and like the hit button. Yeah, something like that. Could just say push it, but even that suggests some sort of aggressive move or what have you. But anyway, tonight, naked duo. Muscle-bound woman goes roid rage. Another teacher scandal. Those are always good. I don't know, some murders or some such. All that stuff. And time permitting, then I'll switch over to Nailsin ratings and, talk about the usual. Superman. I think there's some Fantastic Four stuff. Something else. Anyway, maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Well, we'll see how this goes, But, of course, we start with the best. Boy, the news, right? St. Ranger's here. He says, hi, Doug. Hi, St. Ranger. Pam says hi, too. Hi, Pam. So there we go. We're all good in our places with sunshiny faces. Okay. Gee, I hope I have all my stories ready to go. There we go. We'll start off with Muscle Woman. Well, we'll just get to that. So I put it in position. Pell-El says hi, everyone. Say hi to Pell-El, everybody. Here we go. Oh, boy, it's always terrible when romance goes wrong, but it happens, and sometimes it becomes violent. That's why they call it domestic violence. Anyway, powerlifting influencer Steffi Cohen arrested on domestic violence charge. Well, Well, let's see what this is all about. So, powerlifting, that means she has a lot of power to lift, but she's an influencer at it. So, a lot of people get tips on how to lift power from Steffi here. So, she's been arrested for domestic violence a year after she allegedly hacked into her ex boyfriend's laptop and posted nude photos of his new flame. Anne Marie's the name of his latest flame. The 33-year-old influencer, real name, Stephanie Cohen Margarisi, maybe? Wonder why she just went with the... Maybe that was the married name. Now she's going back to her maiden name, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, was arrested in Miami on Wednesday on a domestic violence battery charge. It was not immediately clear what led to the arrest, and the Miami-Dade Police Department did not immediately respond to requests. So, well, there's her mugshot. Oof. Yeah, steroids just aren't for you, ladies. However, the Venezuela-born powerlifting champ's arrest comes more than a year after she faced a felony charge of unauthorized access to a computer, a misdemeanor, sexual cyber harassment, criminal mischief, and resisting arrest without violence. And she could have been violent. There's a picture there. She's, pretty muscular. Of course, powerlifter and all that. So the lifter turned boxer, so yeah, she could have gotten violent, who has more than 1 million followers on her Instagram page, where she's known as Dr. Steffi Cohen, allegedly accessed her ex-boyfriend's laptop, which he had left behind in the house he used to live in with her in March 2022. Well, look, it's his house. I mean, her house, He just left it there. Anyway, she guessed her ex's iCloud password. Yeah, she's got it now. What'd you do? Your boyfriend's name, your birthday, something of that nature. She's got to know that, And then there you got naked pictures of your girlfriend in there. Anyway, several photos of his new girlfriend. I bet she's not into bodybuilding, which she allegedly shared in a group chat with the woman and several other girls. Oh, she spread the naked pictures around. The victim told police Cohen said to her she was sending the photos with the purpose of exposing, and that's pretty exposed, and humiliating her. So she was in like certain positions and stuff. Anyway, the victim and Cohen's ex-boyfriend reported the incident to Miami detectives in November 2023, with Miami police later arresting Cohen at her home in Coconut Grove in May 2024. So, I don't know, it took a while. So here she is lifting those weights, And, she's okay. She's kind of, she's got a racket, and then these man arms, and then that neck, boy, it's getting really, that's the juice. Anyway, however, she did not comply and began to walk at a fast pace back to her residence. Oh, they don't like it when you do that. She allegedly resisted arrest as 2 officers were able to get her into handcuffs. Wow, did she break them, like She-Hulk or whatever? But Cohen placed a right-legged hook. A what? A right leg hooked on one of the officers, sweeping him off his feet. Oh, boy, is it without violence? Or is this the second arrest or something? I don't know. This is in 2024 after she leaked the images. It sounds pretty violent to me. Cohen has a boxing record of 4-1-1 with her most recent fight in June 2023. So there she is. That's too close of looking like a man. Oh, jeez. It's like It's like some dude who's transitioned. Of course, maybe this is an old picture and she's kind of shrunk down back to her girlish figure because she looks a little. Of course, this is a small picture, not well, but the arms look a little thinner here. Of course, it is a shirt that probably is meant for a man. Yeah. It looks bigger on her. Anyway, the Venezuela native is a 25-time world record-breaking power lifter. Cohen holds all-time world records for the squat, total, and deadlift for the 123-pound weight class. According to Men's Health. Well, yeah. She competed in powerlifting competitions from 2015 to 2020, according to Open Powerlifting. See, they keep it all open. They're not secret. She was most recently dating Tristan Ham, a fellow influencer with more than 1.9 million followers on Instagram. Well, gee, it's all sad, huh? She looks upset. And she was really mad that this other girl came along who probably is really, feminine and everything. And, but she's like, but yeah, but this is my career. People are into my muscles or for some reason on Instagram. And, yeah. But then she saw that cute little thing on his computer and oh God. And immediately she takes it out on the girl, A lot of times that happens. Now, the reason being is most women suspect men cannot resist the allure of pusa. But women, more times than not, can resist the allure of dick. So the mistress knew better, did it anyway, and took advantage of a man's weakness. And so she's going to blame the woman a little more. That's usually the scenario. So, I don't know if there were any naked pictures of him on the computer. She probably has naked pictures of him, so she could have exposed those too. But she didn't. She did it to the woman. Then she knocks a police officer off his feet. Oh boy, that's going to stick with you a while. So you messed up there. Yeah, but that's roid rage, It's bad. It's bad for men, but imagine what it does to a woman. It turns her into a man. There you go. Yep. Nodak says hi to Pell L, everybody. Captain Finity Time Travel Police brings tea, a cuppa. Toxic JPEG, yay. Yeah, it's always good to have tea. Pell L says, hey, ya, Nodak. Toxic JPEG says, hey, hi to everybody, including me. Well, what do you know? And a salute to Pell from Nodak. Toxic JPEG. I had to restart the intro. I like it so much. Why, thank you. Yeah, it's a catchy tune. And then I use the exact same lyrics. I do that a lot with different AI songs I've cobbled together for all of this. It's so hard to choose. Some of them are pretty good because like it'll usually be like one that's it wins because it's the best one. Every now and then there's a couple of them like, yeah. Usually I'll go with the shortest one to be the ending theme song. Same lyrics and all that, but it's pretty good. Did one with like this one I wrote the lyrics. I think, well, what do? I want to say news a lot and all that stuff. Oh yeah, creeps and weirdos and all that, being creepy and weird. But for New York Post stories, I did one where New York City Crime Report was a whole like best of New York, or a collection of the New York Post stories, cartoons and videos and stuff. So I said, oh, it's got to have its special theme. So I did a couple of AI songs on that. But for the lyrics, I just looked up all the different headlines that New York Post is known for. So it starts off with, headless man found in topless bar and all that. And that's it. The only original thing was saying new New York Post. Oh, he goes, well, why have any worries? It's only New York Post stories. And then new New York Post stories, and that was the song. The rest of it. And there was a ton of headlines about Anthony Weiner. So that guy, that popped up quite a bit. Weiner popped up throughout. So, but can only really use it whenever there's any need for a special episode of New York Post stories. Of course, I can put it on my locals, that sort of thing. Behind the paywall, though. Anyway, Pale Ale trendy raid joke. Oh, yeah, because of... yeah, I don't know. Is she a part of Trendy Awagwa? They smuggled in the steroids. Pale Ale sweep the leg. Sweep the leg. Yeah, well, that's what she did. He should have seen it coming, huh? Toxic JPEG. Sounds like a Shirley's Theron movie. Yeah, they got to put her in more of the makeup to make her look hideous. Shirley's Theron is batshit crazy. And never really cared, because she's just so damn hot. She's absolutely beautiful. Even now, she's aging well. But, what she did to her kids, I mean, come on, what are the odds? I'm like, oh, jeez. Keep the crazy to yourself. But, but yeah, she could play this woman, I don't know. She probably wouldn't be able to bulk. I wouldn't want to see her bulk up like that. Good God. But, Hollywood makeup and bodysuits and stuff, maybe some CGI, whatever. There you go. They really uglied her up for that monster movie. Anyway, Pale Ale, better record than Steel Toe. And she'll probably be able to maintain her coaching license. No, like death by snoo. Yeah. Death by snoo. And they're all going like, oh. Futurama, everybody. Pale Ale and Nodak, it came off your head freely. I was influenced by the Cobra Kai reruns. LOL. Yeah, Cobra Kai is one of those shows because I never watched any of the Karate Kid movies. And but Cobra Kai became this bizarre aberration in which all the fandom of it was like, holy crap, why couldn't they do this for Star Wars or something like that, where it's very respectful of the franchise and all of that, and had all these great narratives within the series. So I'm like, I guess I got to get into this, but good Lord, I'm watching so much crap, Yeah, crap mostly. So there's some good stuff in there. And it's where do you find the time? Now I'm on this, and Pat Dixon's to blame. He got me on this watching 70s movies. And these are ones I hadn't seen, which the original Pelham 123, saw that one. The Friends of Eddie Coyle, Robert Mitchum, saw that. And then most recently, The Outfit with Robert Duvall and Joe Don Baker. Those are really great films. They're all really good. So might be looking into more of that, Toxic JPEG. I hear she can crush watermelons with her thighs. No doubt. See, that would be a cool video. She could do that. She'd probably make bank on that. If she needs like a legal fund or something, she just, go to my OnlyFans and I'll be crushing watermelons. There's probably a bunch of you. Oh, yeah. Pella, I wonder what her lifts were. Well, at one time it was a police officer. Anodak at Pelle. I was torn between sweep the leg or put him in a body bag. Oh my goodness. Pelle at Nodak. LOL, either are great. Well, Pelle, she prob has a bigger unit than he does. Yeah, the steroids, does it have an effect on the clit? To that extent? Hanging low. Nodak, if I get into a conversation with someone that has stinky breath, I get Altoid rage. I bet. Pell. Well, that's the problem with stinky breath. You don't even, when it's really bad, you can be a few steps away. It won't matter. That cloud, you have it. Oh, yeah, I remember that guy that, and when it hits you, it's like, God damn it. You know how to brush teeth. You know what mouthwash is. Pell, ask Carm to make you a jammin' AI song. The fugitives can dance with enhanced boobies. Oh, yeah, they would be enormous, wouldn't they? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Joe Lamont, hi, here. Hi, everyone. Well, hello, Joe. A little late, but, we'll let it pass. Toxic JPEG, it's the Amber Turd effect. You ignore the crazy because they're so, yes, Amber Turd is hot. But man, once a woman leaves a mountain of poo on the bed, well, it's like the old saying, for every hot woman, there's a man who's had enough of her shit. And Johnny Depp had enough of hers because he got a lot of it. Toxic, she tried to blame it on their little dog. It's like the turd was bigger than the dog. That's hilarious. Toxic JPEG says, hi, Joe. Nodex says hi to Joe, too. Off topic. Well, off topic, Joe. Well, glad to see you here, Matt. We checked out some bits of your show on Pat's Jokes Kill show tonight. And I drew a picture of Matt, and I suspect it's the best one. See that? Yeah, I think it is. It's the best one so far. So probably going to have to do some coloring work on that one and make it the official off-topic Matt portrait. So anyway, he says, stay highly positive, and I love the show. Why, thank you. Well, I tend to stay positive mostly, even though I'm a very doom and gloom and dark soul. But I don't know. I just find these stories hilarious. They're horrible, terrible things happening. But, you got to look on the light side. Or you'll go crazy. Pell, hey, Matt. Good to see you again. See, I got that one. See? Toxic JPEG says, hey, Matt. Yeah. Off-topic show. Sup, Pell and Toxic. Thanks for letting me know the show is on. I ended my show so I could watch. Really? Toxic JPEG. I got you. Toxic JPEG. Hope you took that shit, Matt. Took the shit? Okay. Pell, barf breath. Oh, God, yeah. Well, that is absolutely. Now, usually barf breath is due to the circumstances of the event, i.e. drugs and alcohol and that sort of thing. But that, made that mistake of some, drunken slut, but she's really cute and everything. And she comes in and then all of a sudden you get that. It's, again, Amber Turd effect. You're like, wow, look at her. Oh, it happens. What are you going to do? Some people get turned off by the like, hi voice or something like that, but I'm willing to deal with it. I mean, granted, I am a desperate, lonely man. Anyway, off topic show says mountain of poo on the bed. Ew. Yeah, that's usually the reaction, I did do a cartoon of her in her Aquaman, her Mara from Aquaman suit, pooping on the bed. She's never going to live that down. She could have had a long career. She's a pretty girl. She could be the pretty girl in several movies and shows. But she had to go and poop the bed. Once you poop the bed, it's pooped. St. Ranger, that was funny. It is. It's all very disgusting, and yet God damn, that's hilarious. I guess you should just own it, and say, yeah, I'm Amber Turd. Do a whole tour, the Amber Turd tour. Off-topic show. Did she really shit on him? What the fuck? No, she didn't shit on I don't think she did. That didn't come up. But I think the scenario was they'd had this big fight and all this stuff. And then Johnny Depp called in to the apartment they were sharing, talked to one of their staff, help or whatever, and said, look, man, I'm going to come up and get my stuff, because, I'm not going to be there anymore. We're breaking up, whatever, that kind of thing. And then the guy said, well, you might want to wait a bit till we clean up around here. And he's like, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And he said, I guess it's best if I just show you. So he took a picture and showed it, sent it to him. And there's this mountain of shit on the bed. She was sending a message, to be sure. So now, even in testimony, I do recall Johnny Depp said he did chuckle at it, because what else could he do? So even Johnny saw the humor in this, despite, the heartbreak that he was experiencing. Pelle, oh man, if Amber Turd was on roids, she'd be serving 10 life sentences for red rum. Yeah, because she's got the cray-cray there. She just doesn't have the physical ability to act out upon it. Saint Ranger, I want to write that down. Well, you go right ahead. Talks to JPEG. Ooh, it's good. Off-topic show. Dude, what the fuck? This is brilliant. Well, it's mountain of shit on the bed. Off-topic show. That is awesome. When and where can people buy these or find prints or copies? Oh, the pictures. Pat Dixon brings this up all the time. You're absolutely right. When I find a time to organize this, I would want to scan this in to make it available, plus in color and high resolution and that sort of thing. And there's multiple stores and whatnot I could use to put it in, and we'll do shortly. As far as the original artwork, my guess is I would probably put that on eBay, something like that. Could just do the eBay store. But there again, I'm hesitant because it's like, oh, the time, because then I gotta mail this properly. You don't just shove it into your own mailbox, and that kind of thing. So there's a little more details to that. Get the backing boards and whatnot to make sure it's good and protected into whatever envelope I send to the person who parted with their hard-earned funds to get a piece of Mr. Nailsin art. So, A. Thompson, the mic works. Yes, the mic always works. The EV Mux platform, not so much. Seems to be fine for other people, although, occasionally Pat was having troubles with it, but not like mine. So I have to do a test show every time I use it in private to make damn sure, my lovely voice can be heard. It's annoying, but it's just got so many cool bells and whistles. I'm still going back and forth between this and Rumble Studio, just to earn Rumble stuff. But also, it's, I don't know, it became a thing, and I'm very obsessive. And so once I do that, I'm stuck. Toxic JPEG Dub spent many hours in art school looking at erect peens to learn how to draw Matt's fedora. Well, that's not exactly accurate. Yes, it did have to draw naked men. There were naked women. There were. But, yeah, they were naked. There was one guy who was just like, he didn't give a crap. And, I don't know, he was some bohemian-like dude, hippie, that kind of thing. He was usually the regular dude. He didn't care. So he would show up. Everybody in the class had to contribute to the pile of money to pay these people. But this other guy came in, and he was just a mess. He was a weirdo, and some of the girls talked to me. They basically had to run him off. He got arrested. mostly because he just freaked out. The police were talking. He showed up drunk and people were getting upset wanting him. This was at one of the gallery openings or some crap like that. I forget. And so the police were called, said, hey, I got this drunken guy. And so they talked to him. And then, I don't know, something about cops freaked him out. And so he made a run for it. And they chased him down. And he started wailing in the parking lot and stuff. It was bizarre. And that was pretty much the end of him. But he would walk around with a jar of dirt asking women to sniff it. That kind of thing. But when it came to him being a nude model, so he showed up. Yeah, he gave this speech. I'd forgotten about that. He told his whole life story. And we're like, look, just shut up and stand there. I don't want you to talk to me while you're naked. And so then anyway, so he stood there and we're drawing and everything. And then he gets a raging boner. It's like, oh my God. Jeez. And and of course the immediate joke was, now I got to change the drawing. You're supposed to stay still. Hey, Thompson, get more teacher versus student news. Well, not so much versus, but I do have one, but you know, hey, Thompson, LOL, toxic JPEG, her Murd suit. It was Mara from the Aquaman thing. That's Aquaman's girlfriend or wife, you know. Pell Depp described the turd as a grumpy. So it's like the mountain of shit. And yet, you know, it's like looking at a cloud, you see a dragon or a rabbit or something. And then he's looking at the picture and wait a minute. And it's got kind of a look on it. I'm a grumpy turd. She was probably feeling grumpy, you know. Breakups are they're never fun. You know. Off topic has a lot of laughing emojis. Talks to JPEG. The mountain of shit was blame on the tiny dog. A little dog. Well, that was the little dog did it. It's like, good Lord. That dog is more than full of it. Joe Lamont drawing idea. I'm thinking of Johnny Depp sitting on the sofa and Amber Turd handing him a brown ice cream cone, smiling mysteriously. Yeah. I did do a cartoon of her pooping on the bed. I'd also done one of him as his pirate character. But his finger was all bandaged and bleeding because she cut off the top tip of his finger. God damn. So, and then I combined the two. I got to look for that. I'll probably put it on Twitter or something. But he's like, oh, my finger. And then she's in the background shitting on the bed in her Mara costume, which I don't know, I guess was anally accessible. Off topic show. It will fall into place when the time is right. Just now, your skills are great and never stop. And thanks for making me look better in drawing than in real life. All right. Thanks for stopping by, Off Topic. Really appreciate it. Off Topic show. Yeah, cops will do that. Yes. I mean, look, I think it was they were asking for his ID. And his response, well, what kind of ID do you want? You know, he was talking like that. I was like, oh, shit, he's going to be a problem. So then he starts to reach into his pocket, and then he just bolted out the door. And they're like, whoa, what's this? You know, so, nah, he's just a weirdo. I don't think he was, you know, plastered, you know. Pell, they call those types of guys keepers. Well, nobody did. Toxic JPEG. Such a good story. Thanks, Doug. Yeah. The boner. Off topic show. Love the raw and real stories. Yeah, it was in the raw. Surprisingly enough, he didn't get arrested for that one. Nor do the business of smell my dirt, you know. Jesus. Noted Codex. So why did Gino keep a jar of dirt? I didn't know he did. Good Lord. St. Ranger, my Mr. Nailsin's comics were shipped to me in perfect condition, high quality paper, and excellent color. I really enjoy them, a quality product. Why, thank you, St. Ranger. That's right. You head over to indieplanet.com, look up Night Night and Sun King and etc. Woman. And you will find the Nailsin comics. Doodleverse comics based on Dabbleverse nonsense supposed to be there. Boy, is it late, which I'm now having to consider. I'm looking at other options where I can do that much faster. It normally doesn't take that long. I don't know what the deal is, but it's not in the store. But Night Night is. There's 3 issues of Night Night. You can check those out. 1 issue of Sun King, which is the Superman parody, Night Night, the Batman parody. Etc. Woman was just a quick thing I did because this girl I worked with asked me to. Said, I want to be in a comic book. So I said, all right, here you go. Toxic JPEG, she was a psycho. Her testimony did not help. Emotional roller coaster. Yeah, that's one of those cases. Of course, it's a civil case, so I guess you have to testify in those, right? You can't just, like your lawyer always says, shut up. Definitely you would tell her to, because there was no way she was going to win that. Plus, you don't have any pictures of Donnie Depp's poo-poo all over the bed. Pell, if that dog laid that big dump, that thing would be dead. Yeah. The pile of shit. Bigger than the dog. You don't need a forensic scientist to figure that one out. What do we got here? Well, based on the height and girth of the turd, I'd have to conclude this did not come from a canine. Certainly not one of that size. Great Dane, maybe, but not a Chihuahua. I can't remember. I think it was a Yorkie or something. Anyway, small. Hey, Thompson, my daughter, now mine. Well, she's your daughter. Oh, got a little dog, so the dog is yours now. I believe her. These things shit like a grown man. Well, I mean, it's not just that it was a big turd. I mean, they described it as like a mountain of shit. I mean, quite a few logs. One wonders, like, she ate a bunch of stuff deliberately because it was premeditated and everything. Pell Toxic JPEG, a psycho and a liar. So full of shit. And boy, did she prove it. Don't you ever forget, I'm full of shit. Maybe she's the doo-doo ball killer. That's another song I got. I need to play that one again for one of the shows. Doo-doo ball killer. It's actually a tragic and sad story about the investigators. They never caught him. Toxic JPEG. Oh, wow. I remember that drawing. Oh, the Mara shitting on the bed. Yeah. Toxic JPEG. Shat out its intestines. Oh, my God. That can happen to animals. It happened to a cow. Well, it wasn't shitting. Was trying to give birth, and oh, God, all her intestines came out. I mean, that's horror movie stuff. I was like, do I really want to be in this business anymore? Toxic JPEG, it wasn't the dog, Tommy. LOL. Toxic JPEG, she was the plaintiff, right? Yeah, he was suing her for defamation and defecation, which he proved. Hey, Thompson, you want a pic, Doug? What's your email? A pic of dog shit? No, that's okay. Pell Toxic JPEG, in the Virginia case, Depp was the plaintiff. I think it was the same for the UK case, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he lost that one. I mean, yeah, plaintiff is the one bringing the case. She was the defendant because the charge was the defamation that she did. And, derailed his career, got him fired from what was it, one of the Harry Potter movies. He was supposed to do another one of the pirate movies, and they all just, me too, and everything. And all those franchises went down the commode, without him. Well, the individual films anyway. And now they're like, because those pirate movies, it was him. He carried that shit. I think there was talk about we can do an all-female Pirates movie with Margot Robbie and that kind of thing. And it's just like, no, a brand's a brand. If you're not going to do it anymore, you're not going to do it anymore. But you're not going to be able to redo it like that when the guy's sitting right there and able to do it. And that's your fan base for it. And you did it all over dog shit. Oh, wait, not dog shit, amber shit. Dip, what's the plan? Oh, yeah, you can read that one. Off topic show. I did the super tip with the voice, but I didn't hear it on screen. Did it? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, hang on. I got to adjust. Come on. Go over there. Make sure that's there. Move over and take a look. Off topic show. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Saved some money from the Diddy party I went to a few years back. My ass still sore, but watching you makes it all better. Stay highly positive, and I wouldn't recommend it going to a Diddy party.
Oh, no. That's not what baby oil's for. It really isn't. All right. Let me get back to the other. There we go. Thank you very much, Off Topic. I really appreciate it. But yes, the Diddy party. Baby oil. I mean, I've got to wonder which particular brand was it, and have they noticed a significant drop in sales? Diddy was keeping them afloat all that time, but can't do the parties anymore. So did that play through? I hope. I mean, I can hear it on my end and see it. So, Toxic J Big LOL. Dub suitor for defecation. He should. I mean, granted, they shared the apartment, but still, it's probably his bed sheets and stuff. Come on, he was really bringing home the bacon more than her. A. Thompson, diameter of a Red Bull can, as long as 1.5 Red Bull cans. This is a French bulldog. God, what did he eat? A Red Bull can? Hey, Thompson, I thought the fucker gave birth the first time I saw it. Now, really? Well, good Lord. Was it bloody? Pell firing Depp from Pirates is like firing Ed O'Neill from Married with Children. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they do. Sometimes there's a successful reboot or remake, but not that quick and in the midst of all that crap. And especially when most people saw it for what it was. Toxic's laughing. Toxic, wasn't it Costco brand? Ha ha ha. The baby oil. Yeah. So Costco, how's it going? Well, look, there's many uses for baby oil. It will make you look really shiny. Off Topic says yes. Off Topic says, fuck yes, that's awesome. Oh my fucking God, so good. Yeah, you got to get on Super Tips. Yeah, it's cool. It's so good. It's just, and, after what's happened, and we think the woke era is over, and a lot of bit of it perhaps is, but is cancel culture really over? Yeah, you got to wonder. I would love to think so, but you never know. There's still people canceled just for shit they said, whether you like it or not. A lot of that stuff I don't like, but I'm not going to ruin someone's life over it. Tell them they can't do business with banks and stuff like that. It's bullshit. But in the case of people wanting to stream and stuff and have even if it's a full-time career or more than likely a supplemental one, should be able to do that. But, you say the wrong thing or whatever, then you're ruined, But with Super Tip, it's outside of all that. So then you can tell YouTube and what have you, you can keep your super chats. I've got Super super tip. Yes, super tip. Disguised as a mild-mannered tip jar system is a hero in today's cautious era. Another off topic says, so good, I can't. See, I don't know the skull emojis thing. I don't know any of this stuff. I just took a shit, but think I just Bidened my pants. If you took a shit, you Bidened your pants. Unless you're sitting on the toilet watching this on your phone. Pelle on his pillow. LOL, LOL, LOL. What a bitch. Well, it was a message, you know. Wiped her ass on his pillow. I wonder if the pillows were like some anniversary gift or something like that, you know. And she said, well, this will send a message. This is what I think of you. I shit on you, Johnny. Plop, 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 plop. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Toxic JPEG, he was bringing home the bacon and she was shitting it out. That's right. I feed you bacon and you shit it. No, yeah, it was for oiling babies, for baby shuffleboard. Well, I haven't heard any of that in connection with Diddy, and hope to God that's not the case. But what a mess that all was, you know. Although most of the charges he beat, I think, but not prostitution. Still, the deal with sex trafficking, it's just a matter if you're transporting a prostitute across state lines. There you go. Yeah. But I guess they didn't get him on that one. Toxic, J Big Hi, Nodak. A Thompson, maybe Diddy was an extreme couponer and got a deal. It could be. He's like, I get these coupons and I can't help it. I got to use them. And Lord knows he's got to have several, phone book libraries full of coupons for baby oil. So he's got to use them. So it just keeps, it's the never ending cycle. He can never get off his coupons. And so what was he going to do with all this baby oil? Well, orgies. Makes sense. Off topic show. Nah, it's over for now, but can turn on after Trump is president. YouTube might allow us to say one thing today, but they can change it tomorrow. So yeah, Super Tips is a great alternative. So true. Yes. Right. Right now it seems fine. There's still strange things. It's like I'm on YouTube now. I don't know. I never checked back, but I noticed people constantly censoring when they're talking about suicide. It's like, how do you deal with that? It's a very serious issue. He says, yes, we need to discuss this. It's terrible. There's all this. We need to help people so they don't cross that line, but you can't even say it. It's like, what if you say the word, someone will do it. Of all the reasons someone would do it, that ain't one of them. Pelle, with the percentage they take, sounds like YouTube keeps your super tips anyway. Well, they don't get any of super tips. They do take a substantial amount of super chats. Super tips, though, well, you get most of that. Off-topic show. What about a comic book of a man called Super Tip? You go out to eat, don't have enough to tip, so Super Tip shows up and pays the tip for you. What do you think? Yeah, that would probably it actually be a good advertisement, like a little cartoon and whatnot. And he says, oh, damn it. How do I go about paying this? And then Super Tip shows up. Relax, friend. With Super Tip, you can do it. And with style. Look at these funny voices you can use. And he's like, oh. Super chats. They don't even chat. They don't say anything. It's just text. Off top of the show. But then he comes back later to fuck you or your wife to get his tip back. Haunts your dreams next time you go out. You be sure to tip. Oh, yes. Yes. There's a terrible consequence when you're one of these stingy people. You just, I'm not tipping you. All you did was bring me a plate of food. Anyone can do that. Fuck off. And then But that's the thing, you know, like if some waiter fucks your wife and she's got that satisfied look on her face. Man, always tip. Hey, Thompson, I know a lady who claims her boyfriend jailed her in her Oh, yeah. Yes, I know. Jacked off in her shampoo. Who knows what people are into nowadays? Yeah. I mean, well, never mind. Hey, Thompson, baby oil, is that why they say black don't crack? Baby oil? Is that the secret? I don't know. It's just that's the advantage. Rub yourself in baby oil and you won't age. Your skin will be smooth, but a bit shiny. Pell at Matt, the super tip superhero can't be black. You heard about them and tipping? No, I'm saying. Oh, and then off topic response with skull emojis. Toxic JPEG, they say that a hero could save us. I'm not going to stand here and wait. Yeah, that's a good idea. You don't want to do that. It's hey, Superman's going to show up. No, he's not. I mean, he did in the theater, but that's as good as it gets. Hey, Thompson, they want a tip for damn pickup. The guy who threw the food in the bag wants 20% now? Well, all right, hey, Thompson. Hey, it's your business. But this guy may end up fucking you. Yeah, that's karma. Yeah, if you're not good to people, apparently you get butt raped. Look, I don't control the universe, contrary to popular belief. These things happen. What do you want from me? I'm just telling you how it is. That's all. That's all. All right, time to go for another great story. Oh, yeah. Do you like race hoaxes? Well, then you ought to enjoy this. Oh, where am I? Oh, yeah, here it is. Black man blamed racism for arson at his home that killed 2 people until an accomplice allegedly told police it was a scam. I wonder how this scam works. Well, anyway, a Texas man who went to the media to denounce racist vandalism at his home was arrested by police for allegedly burning down the home and killing 2 people, including one of his relatives. An unsealed federal indictment, see, they can unseal those, detailed the charges against Mario Raynard Roberson, who had blamed racial hatred for vandalism at his Huntsville home in 2023. Later, that home burned to the ground, leading many to blame racism and call for a federal investigation. That federal investigation has led to numerous charges against who else? Roberson, including one that carries a sentence of life in prison, probably due to the killings. Yeah. Roberson went to the media when racist vandalism was spray painted onto his home after a heated neighborhood association meeting where members voted to ban the use of homes as short-term rentals in May 2023. He claimed that someone at the meeting had threatened him. People are being terrible because of the hatred in the heart, said Roberson at the time. The graffiti read, "We don't like your kind." Now, look, that can mean any number of things. It might have to do with his occupation. It might have to do with the sport team that he supports. It could be anything. But anyway, and ended with a racial epithet. Oh, so it said, "You're kind," and in case you don't know, to be clear, Roberson was described as black in a that's KTRK TV report. Said he would not leave the neighborhood and would stand up to the alleged racism instead. At the time, Roberson also claimed that someone fired a gunshot at him through a window in his house, narrowly missing him. Only 1 month later in June, the home burned to the ground. All right, so what's the insurance on it? The two people were killed in the home, and a witness said that a witness of the witness said they had seen a man running out of the home while fully engulfed in flames before stripping his clothes and driving away. Jeez Louise. Roberson again blamed racism. Racism, power hungriness, money has gotten us to this place, Roberson said to KTRK. That led to some organizations demanding that the Department of Justice investigate the incidents. In a June 2023 KRIV TV, I thought it was KTRK, KRIV TV report, a spokesperson from CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, says that the group demanded that the FBI open an investigation into the matter as a possible hate crime. Oh my goodness. Oh, so there's the spray paint. We don't like your kind. And they blurred the final message. So we're being denied the information here. We have no idea what it said. Roberson was arrested in November 2023, as previously reported by Blaze News, after an investigation pointed to him as the arsonist. On Thursday, a press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of Texas said that the man had been indicted on July 1st on 12 counts related to the fire. Prosecutors said that Roberson hired 3 men. One of them was a relative to commit the arson so that he could make an insurance claim on his property with State Farm Insurance. However, something went wrong, and 2 of the 3 alleged arsonists, died in the flames. According to KTRK, police found the man who had driven away from the house fire after he crashed his truck into a ditch. Police body camera video obtained by the station showed that he told police he was brought out for an insurance scam. I'm telling you, I'm from Houston. This dude, he told me to bring him out here to Huntsville, the man reportedly said. He said somebody wants to do a numbers job on a house. Police said a numbers job refers to insurance scams. Whoever is doing it, he knows the man with the house, said the man. A numbers job or something. That's all I know. Roberson denied the claims, but KTRK said it also found several civil lawsuits against him, mostly related to money. The most serious charge Roberson faces is conspiracy to commit arson against a property used in interstate or foreign commerce, resulting in death, which carries a sentence of life in prison. Ironically, when your actions cause death, you get life. Roberson also faces charges ranging from wire fraud to conspiracy to commit arson and conspiracy to violate the Travel Act. The defendant is alleged to have orchestrated a scheme to collect an insurance payout through a purported racially motivated arson, which led to 2 deaths, said U.S. Attorney Nicholas J. Gangel. Now that he is in federal custody, he will answer these charges and, if found guilty, be held accountable for the death of these 2 men, even though they're somewhat culpable in their own demise for agreeing to participate in this idiocy. But, well, Mama always said, don't play with matches. Now, granted, I don't know that matches are actually used. It might have been a lighter, but anyway, you don't play with fire. How about that? Does that work? I'd say it did. I mean, the house was burnt down. Well, there you go. Wasn't that delightful? See, there's got to be a better way to make money. There just gotta. Nodak, the talking heads on the news were wondering who was burning down the house. Yep. Pell L. LOL. Pell L. Wow. That site is sick, but Shmuel Buckman, go to bed. No, I will not. I mean, I have to stay up. I got to go to work tomorrow night. Well, later tonight. And be up all night, hoping I don't get robbed. Toxic JPEG, someone called Joy Reid. Roberson is making it about race again. Yeah. Another black man wrongfully accused. Pell, hey, Shmuel Buckman. Yeah, good point. Thanks for stopping by, Shmuel. Greatly appreciated. Toxic JPEG, Shmuel. Toxic JPEG, it's a serious investigation. Indeed. Nodak, a fitting arson news story for Blaze Media. Did you tell the girl you wanted to get blazed? Hey, Thompson, Doug, did you ever cover Jocelyn Santa Roman yet? Look at the photo of her. Smoking. All right. I'm going to have to no, not that. No, come on. All right, I'll make a note of it. But I'm in the middle of a show. I'm not going to go drooling over chicks in front of you people. Toxic JPEG, you had one job, Darnell. Oh, no. I guess so. Three of them went there. I mean, and now it seems like he was the guy paying for it to get done, so he had an alibi, I guess, And these three dudes went in there to do the numbers job, and I guess the one that got out with his clothes burnt off and smashing his truck into the ditch is just the one who survived to tell him what happened. Where the other two, I don't know, got stuck in the house and went up and smoked with it. But yeah, you had one job. God damn it. Does it JPEG? I'm Ron Burgundy. Yeah. Need to grow a mustache. Need to get those a maroon jacket and all that sort of thing, Oh, well, I guess that didn't really work out the way he thought it would. Oh, wait, I want to put these back here. Gotta do a little adjusting. Not you, not yet. Come on, where's the teacher? Ah, here she is. And we always want to get right to the good stuff. Another messed up teacher. Yeah. Okay. Doop 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 doop. All right, here we go. Oh wait, I gotta do it like that. There we are. Okie dokie. Oh, elementary school. Well, don't worry. See, it's not as bad as that. Anyway, former elementary school teacher, 33, arrested after inappropriate and prolonged relationship with 14-year-old. Oops. Was that wrong? Yeah. So anyway, a former elementary school teacher in South Carolina has been arrested after having an inappropriate and unlawful relationship with a 14-year-old male. On the morning of Thursday, July 10th, former Anderson County teacher Nicole Ballou. Okay. Ballou Callahan, 33, voluntarily surrendered herself. You don't have to put it that way. Oh, you mean to law enforcement. And was charged with 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor, and 1 count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Just one? Seems like he said it was a prolonged relationship. Anyway, detectives determined that the former teacher had a prolonged relationship with the teen and had allegedly engaged in grooming behavior toward the boy during his early teenage years. An investigation initiated in May 2025 uncovered evidence that the misconduct began in 2021 and continued for at least 2 years with the then teenage boy. And is she at the barber shop? The Greenville Police Department added in a separate post obtained by People. What People? Who? Oh, you mean the magazine, right? And showed on Facebook that some of the alleged criminal activity had occurred within the jurisdiction of the city of Greenville. The police department confirmed that Callahan had previously worked as an elementary school teacher. Writing, the investigation revealed that Callahan engaged in an inappropriate and unlawful relationship with a 14-year-old male. But, all right, was he a student? Because elementary school, that's not 14. God, could he have been her student? And then later on, she runs into him afterwards. I don't know. Anyway, unlawful relationship with a 14-year-old male based on evidence collected. Greenville detectives obtained arrest warrants for multiple offenses committed within our jurisdiction. See? Sheriff Carr. In addition to the ACSO's charges, the suspect has also been charged with 8 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor and 4 counts of unlawful conduct towards a child by the Greenville Police Department. Well, they said on Instagram that the suspect and the teenager's relationship had intensified as she reportedly signed the student out of school. Okay. So he was, well, wait a minute. Maybe he's he would be in high school, like a freshman by that age. And I guess she went in. Did she pose as his guardian or something? And served as a supervisor for after-school activities. I'll bet. So she still had some involvement with. I'm confused here. Anyway, these repeated interactions led to a prolonged pattern of abuse, which was corroborated by search warrants and ongoing cooperation with the victim's family. According to investigators, the victim made the decision to come forward after turning 18, following time spent processing the experience and trauma associated with the abuse. The sheriff's office also confirmed that a parallel investigation is currently underway by the Clemson City Police Department. Callahan has since resigned from her teaching position. See, that's why she's a former teacher, not because they fired her. She'd still be on, maybe suspended, with no pay or something like that at best. But it's very hard to fire teachers, even when they're having sex with the students. Yeah. And Anderson School District 5 is aware of the investigation and charges made by ACSO detectives. Following Callahan's arraignment on the AXO's charges, she will be transported to the Greenville County Detention Center for charges filed by the Greenville Police Department. The Anderson County Sheriff's Office and Anderson School District 5 didn't immediately respond when contacted by People, whoever that is, for additional information. The Greenville City Police Department didn't have any additional updates to share at this time. That's too bad. Well, if you suspect child abuse, you can go to these different hotlines and, you know the deal. So anyway, oh boy, what's the deal? Looking at her mugshot, yeah, you can see the cray-cray. I mean, we know it's there, but once again, she's not bad looking. You know, it's a damn shame, but bad shit. You know, bad shit. It does more than COVID. Oh, well, best I got is late notice. Anyway, there you go. And that's the only one I got. I know. There's got to be more. Yeah, well, I'll find them. Oh, yeah. I will find them. 8 times. Oh, wow. She looks okay. Yeah. But she's not. Beauty is only skin. 8 times of Doug Wood. Well, you know, if I just didn't know this story. But obviously I'm way too old for her. No, Doc, unfortunately, the 14-year-old could have been held back 3 or 4 years. Oh, that's true. Do they even do that anymore? I figured it's just they just pass them. You know, they can't read or nothing, but they're like, but they feel proud of themselves or something, you know. Hello, no, good point. She kept him back to have him all to herself. Good Lord. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's what she did. Hey, Thompson, 14 is elementary school now. Have you met any of these kids? A kid just graduated from a Tennessee high school with a 3.4 GPA, and he is illiterate. Cover that story next week. I already believe it, you know. I mean, that kid's probably going to be one of the teachers soon. Hey, Thompson, none of my teachers were even close to being that hot. Oh, I had one. She was very hot. Hey, Thompson, oh, there are more. Trust me. 15 last week. All right. Well, no shortage of that. So maybe a whole Nailsin news segment on just these naughty teachers. She's a bad girl. She needs a spanking. But look, come on. What's the deal with these bitches? You know, I mean, come on. You know, I don't know. Anyway, in more serious, well, that was serious too. But anyway, woman shot husband and dragged his plastic-wrapped body out of the house with a tractor. Then told everyone he ran off to Mexico with a new girlfriend. Good Lord. Well, I imagine she might be a petite woman and he was kind of a big dude. So she got the tractor to drag him. And then she ran a chain from the corpse into the house, pulled him out with the wrapped him up like Laura Palmer. Boy, it even looks like he's in the Twin Peaks area. Anyway, a New Mexico woman who allegedly told police that her missing husband went fishing in Mexico with another woman was arrested for his murder after his body was found in her carport. Well, look, you got to drag it a little further than that. Man, put some effort into this. Dina Thetford, whose age was not available. In her 60s, I'm guessing. You know? Anyway, well, he's 60s. Yeah, probably she's in her 60s. Anyway, but it's, of course, even though she's charged with murder, you know, her dead husband in her carport and all that, it's just unkind to ask a lady her age. It just is. Yeah. Anyway, she was located in Texas after New Mexico authorities issued a warrant for her arrest on first-degree murder charges. Now in custody at the Wichita County Jail, Thetford is accused of shooting her 60-year-old husband, Craig Thetford, and using a tractor, dragging his body into the carport of the home they shared. According to court records reviewed by Law and Crime, Craig Thetford was reported missing in May after his family members said they had not heard from him since January. On June 17th, June 17th, oh my God, his remains were found wrapped in plastic and covered by a white powder and other trash. Police said the search for Craig Thetford began on May 12th when family members requested a welfare check at his home. Ontario County Sheriff's deputies went to the Thetford home on May 15th and spoke with Dina Thetford, who told them that she and her husband were getting divorced and that he had gone down to Mexico with his new girlfriend to fish. But the story sounded fishy. According to police, Dina Thetford showed sheriff's deputies 2 safes that belonged to Craig Thetford, for which she did not have the combinations. She told police that her husband kept up to $1.5 million in cash in those safes, and that she believed he had taken the cash with him to Mexico. Dina Thetford was interviewed by police again, but during that second conversation, she changed her story. She told police that Craig Thetford had broken his phone and gotten a new one, but she did not know his phone number. She also now said that her husband had gone to Texas to take care of his mother, a detail disputed by Craig Thetford's sister. A sheriff's deputy who spoke to Dina Thetford at her home noticed security cameras, which she claimed were not working. He also asked about a 4 to 5 foot deep hole in her front yard. She stated it was going to be used for a raised garden bed. Come on. And of course, the cameras never work when crimes are being committed, you know. Police later learned that Dina Thetford's daughter had information about the disappearance of her stepfather and spoke to her over the phone on May 13th. The daughter told police that her mother told her that she and Craig Thetford had a fight and he pushed her down a flight of stairs. After the purported physical altercation, Dina Thetford allegedly told her daughter that she was blinded by rage and shot Craig several times. Not knowing what to do with his body, Dina Thetford told her daughter that she allegedly left Craig Thetford where he fell, in the pool room, for up to 2 days. She then allegedly wrapped her deceased husband in a rug and plastic, tied something to him, and used the tractor to pull him out of the house. Dina Thetford allegedly told her daughter that the body was still in the carport. A search warrant for the home was executed on June 17th when the body of Craig Thetford was found where his wife said she left it, in the carport, wrapped in black plastic, blankets, and rugs, while covered in a white powder substance and mothballs. Well, there you go. That covers up the stench, you know. He was found underneath a pile of other items that was captured on body cameras when the sheriff's deputy had visited the previous month. An autopsy found that Craig Thetford was shot multiple times and that he had been dead anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. His manner of death was ruled a homicide. By the time police searched the Thetford home, Dina Thetford was in Texas, where she had purchased property in Seymour in February using cash. The safes that Dina Thetford told police in May that she could not open had been opened by a locksmith. Inside was approximately $84,200, along with firearms and ammunition. So not the $1 million. But anyway, police said that people had become curious of how suddenly Dina had money. Dina Thetford was arrested in Texas and taken into custody at the Wichita County Jail, where she's being held without bond. She is charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, I guess that didn't go the way she'd hoped. Probably the tampering of evidence charge comes with, wrapping him in plastic bags, covering him up with a blanket, tying up the body and dragging it out of the house with a tractor, putting, I guess, lye all over it and mothballs and garbage. Yeah, that's probably tampering with it. And, oh boy, they don't really like it when you do that. So you get charged. Stupid old pig. Pell, she's not going to see more free days for the rest of her life. Yeah, that's the whole irony of it, isn't it? Yeah. Well, that's what you get. But then again, it's like, well, did he actually throw her down the stairs? What do you think? Lady in her 60s goes falling down the stairs. And then, I don't know, just happened to be packing heat. It's like an action scene from a movie, and she pulls it out. Bam, 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 bam. And he's, oh. And then he falls down the stairs. Yeah. They probably did have an argument and stuff. And maybe there is a girlfriend, But, yeah, that doesn't justify gunning him down. And plus, she thought there was $1 million in the safe. Almost, but not quite. Man drove the wrong way during highway police chase with a woman's dead body in the back seat. What the? Ugh. Okay. A Wisconsin man allegedly took police on a wrong way highway chase while a car. See, that's a dead giveaway. Police are gonna notice you're going the wrong way. Anyway, the car was connected to a missing person case, and that missing person may have been the dead body found in the car. More than likely. Would really be weird if it was someone else, Gavin Thompson, 23, is currently in custody at the Lancaster County Jail in Nebraska. Thompson was arrested after he allegedly crossed state lines in a car that reportedly belonged to 67-year-old Dorinder Segbrecht, I guess. Sorry if I got it wrong, who was reported missing in Dodgeville, Wisconsin on Monday. According to the Nebraska State Patrol, the agency received an alert from the neighboring Iowa County Sheriff's Office in Wisconsin that said Segbrecht, her black Hyundai Kona, may have been traveling westbound in Nebraska. When state troopers spotted the car at around 1:50 a.m. on Wednesday, the driver of the car did not match the description of its owner. Yeah, he doesn't look anything like her. No. So when state troopers, they spotted the car, it didn't look like its owner. Troopers attempted to pull the vehicle over, but the driver, eventually identified as Thompson, also a Dodgeville resident, apparently fled instead. According to the Nebraska State Patrol, Thompson had allegedly tried to exit Interstate 80 to evade police. After he fled, he got back on the interstate's eastbound lane, headed in the wrong direction inside of a construction zone. Thompson then failed to navigate the lane shift, drove into the median, and crashed into a creek. He fled on foot, and police approached the car. Authorities say that in the back seat was the dead body of a woman who matched Segbrecht's description. While Nebraska officials have not officially confirmed the identity of the body, they stated it was clear that the woman had died before the crash. State troopers summoned several local law enforcement agencies, including the SWAT team, using police service dogs, drones, and the NSP, Nebraska State Police helicopter. A deputy with the Lancaster Police said, okay, they looked for him. During a press conference on Wednesday, Iowa County Sheriff Michael Peterson and Dodgeville Police Department Police Chief Brandon Wilhelm both said that there was no known relationship between Thompson and Segbrecht. Well, there is a relationship. Murderer and victim. That's the relationship. Wilhelm called the alleged crime a random act of violence. Peterson stated, "We've lost a beloved member of our county under tragic and senseless circumstances." Senseless, tragic? No, tragedy is a car accident. Something like that. This is deliberate on this piece of shit's efforts. Thompson is currently being held without bond at Nebraska's Lancaster County Jail after being charged with reckless driving and avoiding arrest. He is expected to be extradited to Wisconsin's Iowa County. Well, I imagine he's going to be facing charges more severe than that. And I don't know if he just really wanted the Hyundai, and maybe that's the motive. But doesn't know how to read traffic signs, apparently, you know. Oh, well. That's unfortunate, of course. Hopefully they have the death penalty in that jurisdiction. Because taxpayers shouldn't be made to feed that, you know. They shouldn't have to pay for his health care, his meals, his blankies. Where am I? A. Thompson says, need Nailsin education news. Nodak, A. Thompson, you're famous? I don't know. Is he? Nodak, I had no clue you were black. A. Thompson's black? A. Thompson, family tree doesn't include people who cannot drive. This side of the family gets away with it. Huh? Nodak, LOL. A. Thompson, only black on Tuesdays. Oh, all right. Huh. Well, that's interesting. You know what? You can't say you don't learn things on this show. You really can't. I mean, you can. But I'm going to call you out and say it's not true. No. Oh, well, now let's get to the good stuff. Naked duo was having sex in stolen RV. Now, here at least they tried to do it in private. You know, there's been quite a few of these people just screwing. There was one story where they were doing in the McDonald's parking lot right there in front of God and everybody. A lot of people on the beach screwing, people screwing behind dumpsters and stuff like that. But here, they said, hey, there's this RV. So they got it. And, of course, the little gag. This RV is rocking, don't come a knocking. But it was stolen, so they had to. That's the problem. And it was rocking, and they're like, oh, God, we got to go in there. And look at our lovely, oh, geez. So it's come to this, huh? Yeah. Look, pussy's pussy, you all right? Yeah, I know. A West Virginia couple was naked and having sex. People usually are naked when you don't have to take all the clothes off, but you tend to want to, you know. Anyway, they were fucking in a stolen RV when a cop pulled the movie vehicle. They were driving it while doing it, or was it, rocking and he came and knocking? The moving vehicle, he moved it over and spotting the driver being straddled by his intoxicated female passenger. You see, you got to keep your eyes on the road, not on the titties. During the traffic stop last Wednesday afternoon in Bluefield, an Appalachian mountain city, a patrolman approached the RV and found Shannon Bryant, 35, now sitting behind the wheel. A passerby yelled out that the occupants had switched seats before I made contact with them, stated Officer R.L. Ham, who added that Matthew McConnell, 48, was in the passenger seat. I inquired about their actions while the vehicle was in motion, Ham reported, to which Miss Bryant candidly responded, we were fucking. All right, then. She doesn't beat around the bush. But he did. Bryant, who appeared to be highly intoxicated, and McConnell were ordered out of the RV. After being read his rights, McConnell reportedly admitted that he and Bryant were naked and attempting to engage in sexual activity while driving, and that they switched seats upon spotting the squad car. I don't know that switching. Oh, well, one of them gets over to the passenger so that they're both in. Yeah, okay, I get it. Because I'm like, well, what difference would it make? A subsequent search of the vehicle turned up drug paraphernalia and a bag containing a white powdery substance. Investigators recovered painkillers and a broken glass pipe in the area where Bryant told police that McDonald had thrown drugs from the vehicle during the traffic stop. A vehicle check revealed that the RV had been reported stolen from Princeton, a nearby city. Bryant and McConnell were arrested for indecent exposure, drug possession, DUI, and possession of a stolen vehicle. Both defendants, who have pled not guilty, have extensive criminal records and have not been able to post bond. Oh, that's too bad. Really shocking that they have extensive criminal records, you know. But charged with indecent exposure. They were inside the RV. Granted, they stole it. Oh, wait! People could see them through the window when she's up on him. Yeah, they got an eye full of her. So there you go. That's indecent. And checking out her mugshot, well, I have to agree. Very indecent. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I forgot. Nodak says, the guy from the story you read had the last name Thompson. Yeah, I didn't put it together. A-Don said, he is a Thompson. Well, you know, you're not responsible for your family members. You really aren't. I mean, your own children and that kind of thing. But, you know, cousins and all that. What are you going to do? Hey, Thompson, oh, all I see is naked, sex, stolen RV. Cannot look away now. No. Well, if they are bug chasers, it looks like they both succeeded. One would imagine, yeah. I mean, he picked that thing up, so he's chasing bugs. Nodak, hands at 10 and 2. Fellow Appalachian Mountains. It all makes sense. Was there a resemblance between them? Hey, Thompson, I love when rednecks and hillbillies go bad. It's always entertaining. Sure. Oh, yeah. Hey, Thompson, I drove a rigid RV to a college football game. It is very tempting to run back and grab a soda from the fridge. Okay. Pellel, RV in his case is wrecking vagina. Wrecking vagina. And of course, Pat would say, wrecking vagina. Opening at the Mercury Lounge this weekend. Nate Thompson, I have never been in an RV without drug paraphernalia and debauchery. Yeah, that's standard. Part-time planting gives a thumbs up. Why, thank you, part-time planting, and thanks for showing up. Nodak, if the couple is good looking, is it considered decent exposure? I tend to think so. As of late, at press time, I don't know of any being charged with decent exposure. I mean, the cops still got to arrest him, but at least they're, like, well, there's good days and bad days. But if you're going to have to go arrest someone naked, can it be someone hot? And by hot, I mean woman that, looks like a woman, that is good looking, decent exposure. Well, let's see. What else do we have? One more, I do believe. And I am correct. This is when it comes to Nailsin News, I try to end on a light note. Sometimes it involves murders and stuff like that. Oh my God, those are terrible. And, a lot of times I feel bad about it. I do. But, so I got to look for those stories. And the one we just had, yeah, it's hilarious. No one got hurt except the RV. So here's this one. Man busted for sex toy heists. That's right. Plural. At Walmart. A Florida man is, of course, is behind bars on felony charges for a pair of Walmart sex toy heists. Jeffrey LaForge, 40, was arrested on a pair of theft counts for which he is being held in lieu of $10,000 bond. On two separate occasions, police charged LaForge swiped a variety of adult toys from a Walmart in South Pasadena, a Pinellas County city. Store security cameras recorded LaForge removing the items from their packaging and then departing Walmart without paying for the pleasure devices. The $280 worth of stolen goods, which included a $31.44 tush toy and a $14.98 oral stroker, are listed in the police report. So here's the list. Let's see. One Love Honey Monami G-Spot and clitoral suction vibrator. One vibrating pocket wand for her. One Hello Cake flavored lube. One Hello Cake tush toy. One Hello Cake oral stroker. 1+1 private pleasure vibrator. One dual vibrating massager. 1+1 mega massager. 1+1 vibrating soft touch wand. One Reese's peanut butter ice cream. That people have sex with peanut butter ice cream. 1+1 vibrating bullet soft touch massager. Well, how soft can it be? It's called a bullet. One Hello Cake Stroker double-sided male sex toys. Other than ice cream, I didn't know you could get this at Walmart. But anyway, LaForge is accused of stealing a Reese's peanut butter ice cream costing $3.98. Well, he got a snack with all that work he was doing. It is unclear whether the sex toys were intended for personal use or resale the lack of packaging might cause a prospective buyer concern that the items were used. I would think so. But I guess he thought maybe it would be easier to conceal it. I wonder if he concealed it up. Well, since the merchandise was valued at less than $1,000, the sex toy thefts would normally be charged as a misdemeanor. However, owing to LaForge's history of multiple theft convictions, the counts have been enhanced to felonies. On a related note, who knew that America's beloved retailer sold a G-spot and clitoral suction vibrator? Yeah, I didn't know. Ah, jeez. Yeah. Was he selling these? No. He was. These were all for him. Oh, jeez. Dual action. Plus peanut butter ice cream. Wow. Quite the haul. All right, there we go. That's Nailsin News. So now I got to go down here. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. No. Although that does look cool, though. Where the hell are you? Oh, I bet you it's this one. Take that one down. Yeah, that's it. Bloop. See? There, my crew had to change sets. Yeah, these are completely different rooms. Did I get it right? The couple is not, yeah, decent exposure. A. Thompson, I was on a work assignment down where Doug lives. I would see the criminal records of the local hires. One guy missed a week of work for stealing shopping carts from a Walmart. Well, yeah, but that wouldn't be as funny as this story. A. Thompson, I asked him, how many shopping carts did you steal? In a coon-ass accent, he replied, all them. All them, Shah. All them. By the way, coon-ass refers to Cajuns. It's not anything else. It's a Louisiana thing. Fold if you don't like it. Pell, they have this stuff at Walmart. Yeah, I know. Shocked me too. Now everybody's going to go to Walmart. When? I don't know. Would this be at the pharmacy and you got to ask for it? But they know he stole it. It had to be on the shelf. Holy shit. Yeah, butt plugs and stuff. Okay, well, Made in China. Hey, Thompson, I love Southern crime. I don't. I'm in the South. I don't want that crap happening around me. Hey, Thompson, sounds like the average shopping list for the 3 a.m. Walmart shoppers. Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, I guess in some states they still have 24/7 stores because we don't have it anymore. And not after COVID. That was it. And it never came back. It's just me and a couple of little stores. That's it. Pell, by his looks, he was going to use them on the corpse he was hiding in the basement. Yeah, they need to get a warrant for his place, provided there is one, and take a look. Yeah. Nodak, unfortunately, I saw the Walmart sold that stuff the last time I went. I was in the deodorant aisle, and right next to the deodorant behind locked glass, adult stuff. Well, there again, it's behind locked glass. I wondered, maybe he's got some locksmith skills and he was able to pick the lock and get it. I don't know. They just said they saw him on the camera, shoving it somewhere, or in taking it out of the packages and all that. A. Thompson, Sam Walton is turning over in his grave. No doubt about that. A. Thompson, Doug, put that stuff on your shelves. It will sell out in no time. Yeah, all we got is condoms. And it's almost like certain points of the year, those sell out. But anyway, that's a good point. Yeah. God, but the awkwardness of it. The condoms is one thing, but somebody wants a butt plug and it's a dude. I don't know. I might have to reconsider that situation. That's it. I can't work here no more. You can take this job and shut. Never mind. I just can't deal with this anymore. All right, moving on to Nailsin ratings, where it's just pop culture stuff, but boy, it's always superheroes and everything. But, what are you going to do? Plus, ain't no point in denying my nerdness. Superman crushes Tuesday box office with $17.1 million. Biggest of 2025. So it still seems to have some legs as of Tuesday. Of course, I'm looking at this Friday morning, but following its massive Monday, James Gunn's Superman continues to fly high, banking $17.1 million on Discount Tuesday, its biggest day since opening, and the top Tuesday of 2025 so far. That's a huge plus 32.6% increase from Monday's 12.9 million, outperforming similar films like Thor: Love and Thunder plus 21.1 and The Batman negative 0.5%. the biggest Tuesday of 2025. And for any Superman film, well, Superman just took the crown for number one Tuesday of the year. Yeah, but it's still got to make a lot more to, so Lilo and Stitch, they did 15.2. Jurassic World did 15.1. Minecraft did 12.8. But I think currently Lilo and Stitch hit 1 billion, So, okay, he did good on his second Tuesday. That's nice. But, we'll see. Could this movie eventually hit 1 billion? Well, that would be nice. They say they only need to hit like 560 or 520. Some over 500 anyway. But come on, they're going to want that billion. Anyway, it also marks the highest grossing Tuesday ever for a Superman film, beating out Batman versus Superman's 12.2 million and Man of Steel's 11.5 million. I'm assuming adjusted for inflation. Anyway, number one, fourth biggest Tuesday. And what is all right, look, I want the movie to succeed. I'm a DC Comics fan and all that sort of stuff. I had problems with it, but overall, it was a fun movie and all that sort of stuff. But I can't help but think, McCloyne here, he really wants it. But I mean, the numbers are the numbers. It had a good Tuesday. So this 17.1 million total now ranks Superman at number 4 all time for DC Tuesday box office. So that's what Aquaman did, Dark Knight Rises, Superman. It's the total list. Yeah, all right. Wonder Woman did 14. That's pretty good. 42nd. Anyway, it's also worth noting that among non-opening Tuesday totals for solo superhero movies, Superman now sits at number 6 all time, ahead of Spider-Man Homecoming and Captain Marvel. So 200 million coming by Friday with a 5-day domestic total of 155 million. Superman is speeding toward 200 million by Friday, putting the DCU reboot in strong shape ahead of the weekend. The 17.1 million Tuesday now puts Superman at 250 million worldwide. All right, well, there you go. That's nice. And it's like, oh, he's smashing through, The only major competition to come soon will be Fantastic Four. So we'll see how it settles up there and how well they do in their second week and whatnot. But all in all, and you never know with the numbers and stuff, but quality wise, I'm still guessing Superman's the better film of the two. But eventually, the math tells all. Yes. Like it or not. Damn it. I got to get back to my studio. There, thank you. All right, well, that's it for that one. Then there's another story. Oh, yeah, Supergirl. There, okay. Let me see here. A. Thompson. People wear condoms there? Yes. Sometimes. Lugs McGurkin. Hello, Lugs. I got a big box of unused condoms in my glove box. Yeah, it's always sad to see, isn't it? And they've been there all summer. I'm probably going to have to toss those babies. Probably. Yeah. And of course, they're unused. No one keeps used condoms around. Somebody left a used condom in the parking lot one time. It's like, you piece of shit. No, Dak, speaking of condoms, sure. Are there condom machines in bathrooms anymore? Used to see them all the time growing up. Yeah. Not in my store, but they're I haven't been in there in a while. There's this restroom. It's just down the road from where my store is located. Now I'm going to have to pull in there and just go look and see if it's still there. Luke's McGurkin, I saw one recently, but it was a pretty old place. The machine looked almost antique. Wow, they might be worth something. Hey, Dobson, hell no, there are sex toy machines in the bathrooms here now. Well, that's overseas. Luke's McGurkin, it is nice that you can go and buy condoms in private. If you're a shy gentleman, though. Yes. Nodak, but then most are like, yeah, give me some condoms so you can at least say, yeah, I'm getting laid. You know, that kind of thing. Wonder how many of that is just bullshit and they're not, you know. It is funny, though. The guy, you got condoms? And they're like, yeah, on the shelf here. And oh, yeah. This all you got? Yeah. So bought those. And then, of course, my standard line for after the transaction is complete, that people leave, I always will have a good one. So I said, have a good one. And he turned around, looked at me, and said, oh, I will. It was funny. Anyway, let's see. Pellel didn't know there was another Batman movie out. Oh, well, he's talking about the Robert Pattinson one. They was comparing the numbers. So that's the most recent one, and that was the numbers it got in its second Tuesday. So currently there aren't any Batman movie, but there's a sequel to that one. Supposed to start filming later this year, I guess. Anyway, Pellel, Nodak, true. I never did understand why anyone would need their condom to be able to glow in the dark. Well, when the lights are off. Lugs says, yeah, but that's where you can get all the zany gimmick condoms. Crazy bumps and like dragon fruit flavor and shit. Luke's McGurgan, I got this banana flavored condom with a minion head on the tip for you, baby. Oh, God. She sees that coming. Luke's McGurgan, any woman would swoon. Oh, yes. Hello, Doug, did you see the new Superman? Was it what you expected? Yes, it's not quite what I wanted, but I did see it. And for the most part, it's okay. You know, there's problems here and there, but so I think it's good enough to do well for what they need. It's a bit, I just don't know how it's going to perform. So, you know, this guy's like, come on, and look what it did on Tuesday. And I'm like, all right. You know, and we'll see how it finishes out in its second week. And if it's doing well, it'll stay in the theaters longer, and that gives it a shot at perhaps closing in on $1 billion. But I'm much more dubious that it'll achieve $1 billion. But they say they don't need to achieve $1 billion for it to be considered a successful film. Now, there's a lesson to be learned there. Part of the problem with Warner Brothers is that they did indeed panic over the Man of Steel film. They projected it to make $1 billion. It didn't. It got close. And I think Batman versus Superman actually got even closer. But nevertheless, they didn't get that $1 billion film. And they just threw everything at the window, all this stuff back and forth and back, gutted the Justice League film and so on and so forth. It was a mess. And if they didn't like Zack Snyder, okay, fine, move on from that. But they didn't have anything to replace him. And they just went all over the place. And then they started wanting an all-female Justice League and this sort of crap. They were just floundering all over the place. When they were late coming to the game. You know, Marvel beat them at that. And they were just, you're in the situation you're in. And you had to let your franchise grow and acclimate to that. And eventually, yeah, the Aquaman movie, who knew? That one hit $1 billion. So they panicked. So here they might say, look, we kept it on the cheap as much as possible so that we have the potential to not only break even, but be profitable. And so they can achieve a profit on Superman, but not to just lose their shit because it didn't hit $1 billion. To do that, I mean, I don't know. The company's in a lot of trouble. It's been sold twice very recently, and it just recently split itself into two companies. So a lot's riding on it. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, Thompson Pell, Doug cosplayed at the premiere. No, I did not. Lugs, imagine it was a big box of used condoms in the glove box. More disgusting, but less depressing. Oh, God. And disturbing. Who's going to keep that shit? I mean, look, there's trash cans and dumpsters available. That's where you throw that. Not just in the parking lot. God damn it. Pell at A. Thompson, LOL. He was Jimmy Olsen. No, like, damn it, Doug, you blew it. You should have told him to come again. No. I gotta tell some dude I want him to come again. No. Hey, Thompson, your line should be, can I go next? Sloppy seconds. Hey, Thompson, how do you know the flavor? Oh, good question. Pella, instead of a colored condom, put mini likes like an airplane strip so the hole can be found in the dark. Pella, mini lights for fuck's sake. A. Thompson, my recommendation, see all comic book movies in 3D IMAX or Screen X or Digital D. You need gimmicks to make these good, LOL. Yeah, gimmicks fall flat on me. It's like I saw Avatar in 3D and, it's all cool and like, wow, look at that for about 5 minutes. And then it was this stupid turd of a movie. So, a movie shit, it's shit. It doesn't matter how much you polish the turd. A. Thompson, 4DX. Pella, keep the condoms for nostalgia of past loves. Is that the deal? That's considered trophies? So the guy's like, to all the girls I loved before. And he's sitting there looking at the different condoms. I used the banana one on her. Yeah, I remember her. Oh, boy, she really loved that minion. Lugs McGurkin, I enjoyed the latest Batman movie quite a bit. I like seeing the inexperienced Bruce/Batman actually experiencing fear. Yeah, mood and atmospherics, it was pretty good on that. But the story, it's terrible. It's really good. There's some of that, but I mean, and then the whole scene where the bomb goes off in his face and they're like, hey, let's remove his mask. And it's just, well, Lieutenant Gordon said you can't. Oh, no, they would have ripped that thing off. It was one thing after another. He walks through a hail of bullets. It looked cool, but there's no fucking way. I don't care that he's wearing armor. And they can't aim. Shoot his jaw. But still, the impact would have been massive. He could not have. Superman can walk through that unless you establish he's got some Iron Man suit type armor or something like that. But the whole point was they wanted it to be as grounded in reality as possible. Then later, the shotgun knocks him on his ass. It had its high points, but I was not happy with it. Lugs McGurkin, it's not perfect, but it was a decent detective story. It kept the detective story's roots intact. I disagree. It had the mood and trappings of detective stories, but he never really figures anything out. It's just at the end, hey, wait a minute. And they pull the carpet back and there's this whole map. And then he's got to go yell at the Riddler. What are you doing? What do you mean? And then the whole thing explodes. And he's like, oh, fuck. So, yeah. He was good at the riddles, Luke's McGurkin Detective Comics, I mean. Right. And that was the one selling point for it. The main selling point when they were talking about doing it and saying they wanted to do a detective story. And I said, that's right. You've never really seen a full-on detective story in any of the Batman movies. There's a couple of scenes that shows him figuring stuff out. He's collected some evidence and says, oh, this is that or whatever, but not full-on like murder mystery type thing, something like that. It really doesn't. It really doesn't deliver. It's got a lot of cool mood stuff, and it's borrowing from the Zodiac killer for the Riddler and all that. It was an interesting take on the character and stuff like that. But now the Penguin series they did, that spinoff of it, man, that's good shit. That's a great show. I'd rather those guys be in charge of the Batman 2, you know. Hey, Thompson at Pell L. NBA players have to keep the used ones. Some of the stories I've heard, those NBA fans will take them with a oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not an NBA player, so. Luke McGurky, yeah, okay. It did not have a good actual story. Yeah. But, you know, it looked really cool. I was, you know, a lot of people had problem with Pattinson being, I wanted to see Affleck's movie get made, but I didn't have a problem with Pattinson in the role. I thought he should have, you know, worked out more or whatever, but, and what's her face's Catwoman was fine. I could have done without the white privilege line, you know, that dumb shit. But, yeah, she was cute Catwoman. Nodak, they had the gimmicks of the popcorn buckets. Took about 2 to 3 movies for the secondhand sellers market to ruin that. All right. Oh, wait, did I miss? No. Pell 8 times. Oh, never thought of it, but don't doubt it. Get $1 Million Kid. Yeah. 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 Hey, Thompson, what if it is shot in IMAX? I'm seeing it in IMAX, and that is the only way I'm going to theaters anymore. Make them work for it. Well, they shoot a lot of films these days. I think a Dune, it was shot in IMAX, wasn't it? And they're going to shoot the next one in IMAX. But what's the one? Isn't there one? They're saying they're only going to shoot one scene of it in IMAX, but the whole thing will be, I don't know. It's kind of stupid. If you're going to do it, do it. Luke's McGurkin, the jaw is Batman's Achilles heel. Well, yes. He would, at least Iron Man's smart enough to have a full face helmet, you know. Anyway, Luke's McGurkin, I don't want to mess up your flow, but you should have a super tip, Doug. Oh dear. I apologize. All right. But got to switch over to the other. Make sure. Yes. Over here. Boy, I got it lined up. It doesn't show as much. Anyway, here we go from Luke's McGurkin for $5. Why, thank you, Mr. McGurkin.
At my Walmart, almost nothing is locked up. It's a pretty safe area. There's really only 3 things locked up: the shaving razors, the guns, and the sex toys. These Tennessee women are insatiable, Doug.
Driven to crime for the promise of ill-gotten robotic ministrations. God's wounds, zounds for short.
Thank you. Well, life does have its burdens, does it not? And but we make do. And so does Walmart. Put that crap behind a locked case. But apparently in that story, they didn't. See? Let that be a lesson to you. But again, thanks, Liz. Thank you very much. Hey, Thompson, I can't really find the technical details, but I think Jaws was shot on 70 millimeter. Yeah, probably. That is what IMAX is made for. I bought an IMAX enhanced 8K TV, but I can't find content for it. Actually, I did not get a Superman popcorn bucket, nor did I get a $700 millimeter frame of the film this time. I usually get those things. All right. Lugs, we gotta get. I know it was woke or whatever, but I think having the Riddler's minions be political extremists from Twitter was a pretty cool modern adaptation. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that per se. It's just I thought there should have been more elements of it. Just it's like all of a sudden there it is, and somehow he had this big following, and nobody notices. It seems like it would have gotten out, and I mean there should have been more evidence of it, and to utilize something like that where some of the killings might not have been him, and that's like, well, how do you charge him? You've got multiple Riddlers, something of that nature, but it didn't really utilize it. It just threw it in there. Yeah. And we're going to make them pay for all their wrongs. And I mean, one of the things, like in the scene in the confrontation where it turns out he's got some crush on Batman, you were supposed to understand, which I think was the line in the Batman Forever movie for the Jim Carrey. But anyway, yeah, he's going on all about it, and he was inspired by Batman to take down the corruption of Gotham and whatnot. And then when he realizes Batman is pissed off and not on his side, then he just goes, no, this wasn't supposed to go like this. Whoa. Now, granted, he's all fucked in the head and stuff, but I was like, what? Oh, well. It was cool with the Joker laughing at him at the end. He said, hey, buddy, come on. You did pretty good. You got pretty far. So then he was like, oh, somebody understands me. Looks bigger. Oh, wait. A. Thompson, Dune is unreal in IMAX. It's all unreal. There is no Planet Dune. Giggle. Tee-hee. Nodak the Jaw and the name Martha. Batman's 2 Kryptonite. Well, the Jaw is the scene from the recent one. Martha in that, look, I understood what they were trying to do, but plus, even if you took that out of it, you're setting Batman up to be so incredibly stupid, that he doesn't realize how easily manipulated he is by Lex Luthor. Especially, and it's like a lot of it is just really cool scenes, but don't make sense. You have the Batman, the Batmobile chase scene in Batman vs. Superman. It's amazing. It looks cool. But it's like, what are you doing? So he shot the little tracer on the truck, but he hit the door instead of the bike, so he's got bad aim or whatever. So he's like, damn it. So then he chases them, and so it's really obvious what's going on. Batman wants that damn kryptonite, and they're shooting missiles at him and all this stuff, and he's smashing through buildings with the Batmobile, chasing them all over the place. And then they eventually get away. Where do they go? They just go to Lex Luthor's company complex, And then, so what does Batman do? He breaks in and steals it, and with no problem whatsoever. And it's like, Batman, after all that trouble, Lex just brings it into his place blatantly, obviously, and just leaves it there. And you walk in and take it with a few, minimum wage security guards for you to beat up to get it. No, don't you understand? He wanted you to get it. Oh boy. And then sending him all the letters about it's all your fault that people died. You didn't stop Superman or whatever that was. And he's like, the idea is that he's a broken Batman after the death of Robin and stuff like that, but it really doesn't come together enough. And by the time you get to Martha, why did you say that name? It's like, well, his mommy's name is Martha too. Yeah. Wow. I guess he's just another guy after all. He just, has all these powers. I'm about to murder a man. And it's like, oh, damn it. Oh, well. But then that rescue scene where Batman goes to save Martha Kent. Yeah, that's the best damn Batman scene ever filmed. I am just beating the crap out of those bastards. Hey, Thompson, if you want to see the correct way to do Dolby Atmos atmosphere audio, see a Dune movie in IMAX. Hey, Thompson, the audio of the new Superman was actually trash. Uh-oh. Nodak at A. Thompson, as long as you didn't buy a 3D TV. Hey, Thompson, I got a 70 millimeter frame when I saw Oppenheimer. Hey, Thompson, I did buy a 3D TV years ago when Samsung made them. I saw one 3D movie on it. Waste of time. Oh, no. Luke's McGurkin. The part where he's screaming, oh, no, 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 no. Yeah. And then he's still doing it later at the end when the Joker, it calms him down. Yeah. No, no. I guess he thought more people would die, but Batman was able to pull them out of the water. Yeah. Hey, Thompson, the Sony Bravia got its advertised as IMAX Enhanced, but there are a few titles for it on Sony Core streaming, but it wasn't worth it. Luke's McGurkin, I want to check out the dumbest movie I can find at the Big Sphere in Vegas. Luke's McGurkin, I want to see a Venom movie there or something. Yeah. Well, maybe not the first one, but the other two. I still haven't seen the third one, but I heard it was a turd. What's the one? Oh, Madam Web. Yeah, you want to see that trash. I mean, you have Sydney Sweeney in the movie. You put her in the Spider-Woman, form-fitting suit for a couple of seconds. You bastards. Hey, Thompson at Luke's. It would be like Screen X in there. Hey, Thompson, I'm seeing articles now. Superman was a financial hit. I'm telling the truth. I was in the IMAX theater in Icon Siam, the most popular mall in a major city. There were 20 people there. Well, on a Saturday. Well, yeah, but it's a foreign country. They don't know shit about Superman. They don't understand. Tell all this crying and whining, they should have just called him Riddler X. 8,000. Does the Big Sphere have movies? Well, I would assume so, but I wouldn't know. Yeah, that's. Well, damn it. No, not that. Anything but that. There she is. Okay. Supergirl. That's Supergirl. Yeah, it's Supergirl. First Supergirl poster revealed by James Gunn. And here it is. Look out. So she's a bad girl and all this stuff. So if you notice, and I did, the costume's a little different from the movie. The belt looks different. The belt had a lot of red in it, So she's got a different suit. I don't know about the skirt. It might be similar. The boots are these, thigh-high boots. Whereas the boots in the movie, I think were just, regular boots. Still has this coat for some reason. I don't know what that's for. But anyway, there she is. Pretty bad introduction of her in the Superman movie where she's stumbling around drunk and, oh, look, her fingers are all bloody. So she's been beating the crap out of somebody. So that's the deal. Plus the Jor-El thing they did. Is she like that too? Yeah. That's the problem. But anyway, James Gunn just dropped the first official poster for Supergirl, teasing Millie Alcock's debut solo outing as Kara Zor-El. The image shows Supergirl leaning casually in front of a graffiti-tagged Superman crest with the words, "Look out," spray painted in red. She's sipping a blue drink, rocking the red and blue suit under a brown trim. What is this, a fashion show? Anyway, the poster matches the tone teased in Superman, where Alcock's Supergirl shows up in a surprise in cameo. It wasn't that much of a surprise. And calls Superman a bitch before taking Crypto back and heading off. She appears drunk, and it's explained. She gets intoxicated by visiting red sun planets. That moment drew mixed reactions from fans. Yeah. Well, the Supergirl movie releases June 26, 2026, and continues Gunn's DCU following the events of Superman. Millie Alcock plays Kara Zor-El, who Gunn says is a lot harsher than Clark and was raised in a harsher Kryptonian environment. The film is directed by Craig Gillespie, Cruella, I, Tonya, with Anna Noguera writing the script. Eve Ridley plays Ruthie Mary. No, Matthias Schoenarts is the villain, Krim of the Yellow Hills. David Krumholtz plays Zor-El, and Emily Beecham is Allura. They're the parents of Supergirl, with Jason Momoa as Lobo. So there you go. It's based on her brief role in Superman. Based on her brief role. Supergirl will lean into a more rebellious, unfiltered version of the character. The tone is expected to be different from Kal-El's grounded, hopeful story. The poster alone suggests this Supergirl doesn't care about tradition. She's doing things her own way. I do what I want. We see the difference between, okay, he's telling that's the big deal. She's not like Kal-El. Well, that was always the case, and that she came to the Earth in her teenage years. She lived on the last surviving chunk of Krypton, but had to watch it all, fall apart, and everyone dies. Her parents are able to ship her off in the rocket. So it's understandable she's not going to have that, Pollyannish attitude that Superman tends to have, because he was an infant when he arrived, and he grew up isolated on a comfortable farm and stuff, and had all those Midwestern values and that sort of thing. Not so much for Supergirl. So it's really not a new take as far as the comics go. They've done different iterations like that. This particular story is based on a Tom King story. However, having read some of his and decided never to do it again, this one is the least offensive of the stories they did, because basically it's the plot of True Grit. It's just Supergirl in place of the John Wayne character, So that's the deal. She does get drunk in it because she's celebrating her 21st birthday at the opening. And plus she's depressed about, the loss of Krypton and all that. And she doesn't fit in on Earth. So she spends a lot of time in outer space. So she goes to this red sun planet so she can get drunk. And then this Ruthie girl approaches her to hire her to hunt down the man who killed her father and kill him. Yeah. But she does not get drunk throughout the movie. It sounds like they're going to change it to where she does, and that she's this, foul-mouthed bitch flying around through space, hungover and stuff, because they think that'll be silly. So I don't know. I'm rather dubious on how good it'll be. The actress, she was good in House of the Dragon, so I can't put it on her. She's going to play what they wrote for her, but I don't know, especially that's what they focus on in her introduction in the Superman movie. Don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'll see it, but yeah, I don't know. And going forward, the influence of Tom King, oh boy, is that a bad sign. That's a very troublesome sign. So, but the irony of it here is if they're distancing it much more from that, the original story, it might have been better to stick to the comic. She's just going to be this foul-mouthed bitch in the whole movie. So, again, I'll just have to see. Does the Sphere have movies? Nodak, maybe Morbius at the Sphere. Yeah, that's one you could watch on the Sphere. Luke's McGurkin, are superhero films big in Thailand? A. Thompson says, yes, they are big. Oh, well, they don't go for Superman, though. A. Thompson, Morbius. Oh, my God, that movie was bad. A. Thompson, I'd rather watch basketball than Morbius. What's wrong with basketball? A. Thompson, Fantastic Four is out here in a few days. I will have to see it. Pele Laura, isn't that Soup's real mother's name too? Alora, not Laura. And no, it's Lara for Superman's mother. A. Thompson, I can't remember the two Marvel movies I walked out of. I think it was The Flash. Flash isn't a Marvel movie. It's a DC movie. Now, let's see. I don't know. Did you walk out of Captain Marvel? Did you walk out of the Marvels? Did you walk out of the Eternals? Probably didn't even bother with that one. Did you walk out of Thor, Love, and Thunder? Because that pretty much was one to walk out of. The odd thing about it, and I've said this multiple times, but I'm going to say it again. The actual plot, Thor, Love, and Thunder, could have been a really great movie. A sad, tragic story, but nevertheless, good movie. But they choked the life out of it with these idiot jokes. I mean, every second of every scene in between, finding out your true love is now dying of cancer. And then there's some dumb gimmick, and holy shit. That Thor, Love, and Thunder was peak shit Marvel. There's other bad movies, but it's usually characters no one cares about. Thor, it's one of their big ones. But, well, they didn't care. Okay, I can't remember. Basketball, 1990s movies. The worst movie ever. A. Thompson, yes, Captain Marvel. You walked out of Captain Marvel. A. Thompson, so one Marvel and one DC walked out of a Flash and Captain Marvel. When she crippled that man and stole his clothes and bike, was that it? She's a hero of the future. And he said, well, the Terminator did it. He was a killing machine, you idiot. Oh, well. Yeah, how'd that Captain Marvel thing turn out? Yeah. Poor Brie Larson. That's why she's always doing butt pictures everywhere, because they put her in a man's costume and it didn't fit. So they're like, she doesn't have an ass. And she's like, I have an ass. And so she did all these yoga pictures showing off her ass. So, all right. Maybe there was a plus to it after all. Look, a lot of people don't like her, but she's not an ugly girl. She's not. Wonder Woman being fast-tracked at DC Studios. That almost sounds perverse. Well, anyway, a new report offers that a new Wonder Woman movie is being fast-tracked by James Gunn at DC Studios. It's also added that a Superman sequel announcement doesn't appear to be imminent. Uh-oh. The report comes via Variety and follows recent comments by Gunn and Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav about how important Wonder Woman is to the DCU. Variety doesn't go into much detail. Ironic, since their title is Variety. Although Warner Brothers has sequel options on Corn Sweat and Brosnahan, a sequel announcement does not appear to be imminent. Instead, sources say the studio is fast-tracking a Wonder Woman movie. James Gunn has confirmed Wonder Woman is being worked on and that the project will only get greenlit if the script is good enough. Zaslav in congratulating Superman for its box office opening also said Gunn has a bold 10-year plan, adding the DC vision is clear, the momentum is real, and I couldn't be more excited for what's ahead. Hey, that's what he means. He's not just saying that because he's in the company and promoting it or anything. The CEO also touted Wonder Woman as one of the 4 characters that will be the pillars and ass at builders of the DCU, which also includes Superman, Batman, and Supergirl. So I guess this could be the new Wonder Woman. So it's fan art of Adria Arjona. So they want her. And, well, she looks the part. So why not? No release date created. Well, of course not. It's talking fast track. So they're probably going through, the headshots and having auditions scheduled and all that. And maybe she's on the list, So I follow Adria on Instagram, but everybody came out and said, he just followed her. That means she's Wonder Woman, Gunn said in an interview with Extra. She'd be a great Wonder Woman, by the way. Gunn continued, she was in a movie that I made 7 years ago. We've been friends and have known each other since that time. I followed her then. I didn't just follow her. So I guess she's not in the running. I mean, why not? I don't know. Anyway, Arjona has also said she loves Gunn as he cast her in the Belko Experiment. I love James Gunn, Arjona said in an interview with Cinema Blend in April. He gave me my first movie ever, which was like my first studio movie. So I owe him a lot. Shh, you're not supposed to. So, and sadly, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman 3 was canceled, and that's all over. Her first movie was great. I really liked it. Second one, it's not her fault, but it stunk, and that's all very sad. But, I don't know. Yeah, I guess this lady would make a good Wonder Woman. And we'll have to see. But it's being fast-tracked. They were going to do this... a Paradise Island series type thing. It was described as a Game of Thrones, but with an all-female cast, as if the early days of the Amazons living on that island. And I'm like, what? For, an HBO Max show? Who wants to see that? It's like, you need to be working on Wonder Woman. Plus, you got to build this thing up to be able to afford these little excursions like that. So, oh well. Anywho, Captain Marvel, A. Thompson, about 15 minutes in, just walked to another theater and watched half of something else. A. Thompson, oh yeah, rush it. That will make it better. LOL. Well, yeah. Now, he did say he canceled one of the announced projects, but he didn't say which one. It could be as simple as that. They can shuffle it around and say, let's get the ball rolling on Wonder Woman. And that sort of thing. Anyway, Nodak, I'm surprised they don't pick that bald Uggo from Wicked. Yeah, well, another sign that the era has changed. There won't be, I don't expect to see that happening, especially not with Zaslav. They were going to do that Black Superman written by racist Ta-Nehisi Coates to talk about how bad racism is against Black Superman or some crap. And Zaslav came in and said, "What? No." And that was the end of that. Luke's McGurkin, the only Marvel shit I like is X-Men generally. Always been a bit of a DC nibba, though. They had Vertigo for all the edgy stuff I like. Vertigo, yeah, it had a good run. There was a lot of cool stuff there. Then it kind of faded, and then they said, "We're bringing it back." And, of course, they made it completely woke, which is unnecessary because they're like, "Oh, we need representation." Well, you know, they had the characters of the community in some of those titles. But that's not the point. No, the message, the propaganda, the sermons. It's what they were interested in. And so destroyed it. So there it is no more. But anyway, 80s, early 90s was probably the real golden age of the last gasp. We didn't know it at the time, but it was the great peak of comic books. And it struggled ever since. And wokeness, of course, was just lethal. All right. So that's it for Wonder Woman. Dun, 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 dun. Get us out from under Wonder Woman. And now over to the MCU. Come on. Jeez. This is taking longer than I anticipated. But boy, am I racking up hours, aren't I? Okay. Now this one, I'd heard a rumor about this, but it appears to be true, which is unfortunate. I'm losing a lot of hope for Fantastic Four, but John Malkovich cut from Fantastic Four confirms mob. So as we suspected last month, director Matt Shakman, now confirms that Marvel has cut John Malkovich from the upcoming Fantastic Four movie, which gets released next week. Malkovich was set to play the Red Ghost and was going to appear in a scene at the start of the movie involving the earlier years of the Fantastic Four battling the Red Ghost and his super apes. The actor even appeared in the first teaser trailer. And he even looks the role. I mean, it's like the only one who will. Via Variety, Shakman confirms John Malkovich has been cut, noting that the actor was brilliant in it and gave it his all. The reason is said to be due to the use of so many characters. There were a lot of things that ultimately ended up hitting the cutting room floor, Jackman said. We were building a 60s retro future world, introducing all of these villains, including these four main characters as a group, as well as individually introducing the idea of a child. There was a lot of stuff to balance in this movie, and some things that had to go, ultimately go in terms of shaping the film for its final version. Yeah, you're trying to do 3 films in one. You see, Red Ghost, that could have been your first film. You could have done Mole Man in the second one, or vice versa. And then you get to Galactus for your third one. It's stupid all around. So then you know, okay, let's try to cram stuff in there. Yeah. It's similar to Superman, really. Shakman previously worked with Malkovich in Cut Bank. Boy, the word cut. A running theme here. Well, it's heartbreaking not to include him in the final version of the movie because he's one of my favorite humans and one of my biggest inspirations. Well, whatever. So he's out. And I don't know. I'm losing a lot of hope for Fantastic Four the more I see about it. And but all this is one of the pluses, at least if it was just a glorified cameo, you know. But they've decided not to do that. They've decided not to do it. And I think they're wrong. Hang on. I got to go take care of a kitty cat. So I'll be back in a bit.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Twin Cities volleyball coach charged with actually assaulting 17-year-old player. The 24-year-old is charged with third-degree criminal sexual conduct. All right. Volleyball coach from Burnsville. Uh-oh. Did it burn? Has been charged with sexually assaulting one of her underage players. Well, by a year, you know. Brooke Reinhard. Maybe Reinhard. 24 of Rosemont is charged with 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 counts, third degree. Wow, even the degree is in threes. Criminals, sexual conduct by someone in a position of authority, with the victim, a 17-year-old boy. Reinhard is listed as the coach of the Burnsville High School varsity boys volleyball team. There was an earlier story where that teacher was also, I forget, she taught some other, she was a special needs teacher or something like that, but she was also the coach of, I think that was the soccer team. But I thought, oh, you mean the girls' soccer team? No, the boys. What are you doing? All right, guys, go hit the showers. I'm going to make sure you do, you know. According to the charges, a man found the 17-year-old's wallet in his apartment. Oh, no. After returning from being out of state between June 23rd and 29th. The man said Reinhard had been looking after his home. Oh, I thought this was the husband, you know, or boyfriend. Anyway, looking after his home while he was out of town, and that the victim had never been in his home and had no reason to be. Oh, geez. So she was house sitting for a neighbor and thought, wow, what an opportunity to, you know, here she is. There she is. Okay. When he called Reinhardt about the discovery and told her he was upset with what he found, she allegedly said, okay, and okay, bye. What a cover story. The 17-year-old was interviewed and said he'd forgotten his wallet and that his coach, Reinhard, had sent him a text saying he'd forgotten it in her car, saying that she had given him a ride to practice in Maple Grove on June 28th before bringing him home. See, he really came up with a better story than hers. You know, that's better than okay, bye, you know? Unless, of course, she called him, quick, we got to come up with a story. He said, don't worry, baby, I got it. The teen initially told police that his relationship with Reinhardt was that of a coach and athlete, and that she was nice. But they had not spent any time together other than for playing volleyball. When the victim allowed officers to check his phone, they allegedly found texts from Reinhardt telling him he had a lot of things to delete, the complaint, as well as texts about condoms. The victim then told officers Reinhardt had been helping him with a social situation. You know, how do you talk to girls? And that led to them hanging out more often. This allegedly led to them getting food together and then kissing, with the teen saying they had started dating 2 to 3 months earlier. Yeah. After initially saying it had not progressed beyond kissing and watching TV, the teen allegedly admitted when asked about the condom text that they had penetrative sex, meaning they had sex. He claimed the first time happened at Reinhardt's Rosemont home about a month earlier, with the second time at the Burnsville apartment on June 28th. The teen also said Reinhardt had sent him nude pictures. Reinhardt was arrested on July 2nd, and during the interview, she claimed the boy had left his wallet in her car after she drove him to practice, and described their relationship as coach and player. See, that's how they do. They get them in separate rooms, you know, and interview them. She's sticking to the initial story that they agreed to. So, oh boy, they went over it. But The kid didn't get rid of everything on his phone, so whoopsie. So then he says, all right. But she didn't know about that. She later allegedly admitted that in May, she had engaged in sexual acts in her vehicle with the boy and admitted to having sex with him at her house. The boy's house? Jeez. She went to his house and banged him there. Wow. And the Burnsville man's apartment. Jeez, what if he had come home early and he walks in? Anyway, she also admitted sending the boy nude pictures. WCCO, or Waco, reports Reinhardt was hired in September 2023. Wow. That's not that long ago. Huh. Well, anyway, with Burnsville Egan Savage District School saying that while it can't release personnel information, it is fully cooperating with police on the matter and will take appropriate actions as dictated by district policies and state law. Well, she's confessed to all of it. So obviously she's fired, right? I tell you, it's easier to fire that stupid pediatrician. The teachers, I mean, now it varies by state to state and city and all that. But, geez, Louise, so very hard to give them the boot, you know? And then it's like, hey, look, we got rules here. And, oh, man, we can't just get rid of this woman because she had sex with one of her students. You know, I mean, I can understand innocent till proven guilty and all that stuff, but she confessed. So, and still, oh, it's very hard. So, I mean, you can't release the information. That's one of the things. It's like, hey, is there any vetting here or anything? You know, I don't know what it would be. Like, well, she's done this before. Well, then yeah, that would, and they got that on file. Well, don't you do that again? You know, that probably wouldn't be sufficient. You understand? But, geez, man, and I really daring, and she's like, let's do it in your bedroom at your home. And they did. Well, anyway, she's probably going to do some time and maybe even get fired. This thing is starting to act up again. Jeez, I better hurry up and wrap this up. Jeez, for all hell breaks loose. Luke McGargan says it's so weird in the Netflix Sandman. They made it more gay, of course, even though a third of the characters are gay and non-white. Yeah, wasn't it gay enough already? Yeah, I never gave it a chance. You know, they race swapped Death and all that, and then gender swapped Lucifer and stuff. It's just like, enough already. I can't do that anymore. Luke McGarkin. So now, like 3/4 of all characters are gay or bi, and then that's not enough. They just didn't have enough trans representation. Luke McGarkin, they made Morpheus' librarian Lucian a black woman. Well, of course, for some reason. Oh, we know the reason. I know it's not really logical, but I am instinctively against African elves. Oh, because that's because you're racist. Nodak, how was Kat Dixon doing? Fine. Nodak, didn't the extra scene at the end of Thunderbolts pretty much spoil the ending of the Fantastic Four? In a way, depending on what spoilers you've read, I think it has to do with the action. I don't think their universe gets destroyed anymore. In fact, I think they are able to spare the Earth from Galactus. But Doctor Doom appears in a post-credit scene and kidnaps their child. So I believe that's the Fantastic Four coming into the MCU looking for their baby and trying to find where Doctor Doom took the baby Franklin. That's my guess. So that's why Thunderbolts are seeing the Fantastic Four spaceship. Luke McGurgan, she's in there with him in the bed shaped like a race car. Luke McGurgan, glow-in-the-dark stickers on the ceiling. Nodak, and glow-in-the-dark condoms. Luke's LOL. Yeah, that was that. What was that movie that John Ritter did? I'm forgetting the name of it. But yeah, they had glow-in-the-dark condoms in there. And one guy was about to bang this chick, the John Ritter character. And then her husband or her boyfriend or whatever showed up. And then he had a glow-in-the-dark condom. He said, "Hey, I found these on the table. You want to get wild?" And then the lights are off. So then I forget how, but whatever. John Ritter's hiding in the closet or whatever. He opens it. And then there's two glowing dicks in the room. That's all you can see. No, like Skin Deep. Yes, that's it. That's the movie with the glow-in-the-dark dueling condoms. Yeah. Oh, well. More MCU news. Pedro Pascal leads Avengers in Doomsday, says Fantasy Four director. Well, boy, this guy just won't shut up, huh? Pedro Pascal is apparently assembling as the new leader of the Avengers in the MCU, as confirmed by Fantasy Four director Matt Jackman. The Thunderbolts movie also confirmed a team of new Avengers, and let's not forget the post-credit scene ties to Doom. Something Kevin Feige has teased might not be exactly what it seems. Oh, you don't say. While promoting the release of the FF movie, Shackman filled in Variety how Reed was the most challenging role to cast. You were going to cast Pedro. I think that was probably from on high. He goes from being the nerdy scientist who's locked away in the lab to the husband and the father who'd do anything to protect his family, to the guy who's leading the Avengers. I realized that the version we were building had to have all of those elements. Now, the problem here is he comes from another universe and they reform the Avengers. And so this stretchy guy, nobody knows, said, let's make him the leader. Why would you do that? Yeah. What actually remains to be seen if whether Reed is the leader of the Avengers or if Vanessa Kirby becomes the leader. Yeah, that's another thing. They keep making a big deal about Sue is the leader of the Fantastic Four. So what's the deal? You know, she's out shopping or something. We'll find out more next week when the Fantastic Four first test gets released. Well, not about Avengers Doomsday, you won't. You won't find out why he's the leader of Avengers. Anyway, regarding Avengers Doomsday, the movie and Pedro Pascal and the rest of the FF cast have been filming in the UC. Avengers Doomsday gets released December. Secret Wars released in December too. Wow. 2 different years. All right. The cast, all that stuff. Well, all right. Again, there is a scene rumored at the end of Fantastic Four where Doomsday, Dr. Doom appears and kidnaps little Franklin in front of Sue Storm. And you don't see his face. You see that the mask is off, but you don't see his face apparently in the scene. So it's probably, the theory goes that Robert Downey Jr. is playing an alternate version of Tony Stark, but that Dr. Doom projected his mind into his body swapped, took his body. And so that might be the actual Dr. Doom in the room there. And that he since jumped bodies for whatever reason. His own body was, dying or something like that. And he steals Tony Stark, probably gets the whole Stark Industries empire to use for whatever he needs and all the technology to be whatever this multiversal plot he's got going happen. And that's probably the deal as to why the Fantastic Four are actually coming to the MCU, looking for Dr. Doom and their child. Of course, in the comics, Franklin Richards is enormously powerful. So it's probably the reason why both Galactus and Dr. Doom are interested in the child. They want that power. So as to how that would result in Reed being the leader of the Avengers, well, you got me. I don't know. I don't know how that would happen. They needed a couple of other movies to happen and to ingratiate them into the MCU for that to make sense. But I don't think they care. They're throwing everything at the wall and say, hey, look, Robert Downey Jr. is back. So that kind of thing, and just hope for the best. And so the odds that you'll get some great Marvel movie out of this, highly unlikely. And that is unfortunate. But it is the case of what they did. Not everything was their fault. The whole thing was planned out for Kang the Conqueror to be their new Thanos and all that sort of stuff. Well, they had to suddenly scrap that because the actor got in a fight with his girlfriend. What did he do? He broke her finger or something. Anyway, that was the end of him. And then instead of just recasting the role, especially since the guy had multiple versions of himself threat all across time, just put somebody else in the suit and you're good. But I don't know. It's all so rushed and crammed in. You got to give time for these characters to breathe and for the audience to be introduced to them. You can't just go by, well, everybody knows Dr. Doom. Yeah. It's lazy. Don't be lazy. Especially when you're in command of, I don't know, a couple of $100 million here, a couple of $100 million there. After a while, it's like real money. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yep, doop, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. Yep, doop, 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 doop. Get in here. This isn't much, but it's just a confirmation of an earlier story. Okay. John Bernthal confirms Punisher for Spider-Man 4, filming special in New York City. So his special will be a spinoff of the Daredevil show, and then he's going to be in Spider-Man. So Bernthal is confirmed he's returning as the Punisher in Spider-Man Brand New Day. The actor confirmed the news to a TikTok creator while attending Washington State Summer Con last month. This confirms the recent report that Bernthal will reprise his role as the Punisher alongside Tom Holland's Spider-Man as part of the July 31st 2026 release, directed by Shang-Chi's Destin Daniel Cretton. The appearance marks Castle's MCU return following Daredevil Born Again, Season 1. Bernthal is also asked, or was asked, what would happen if Shane met Negan in The Walking Dead? "Oh, fuck him up," replied Bernthal. "Well, you can't. Your character's dead." So I don't care to watch TikTok. So there was also the rumor that the Hulk would be in it. And maybe so. Rumors suggest Spider-Man Brand New Day will feature Spider-Man and the Punisher teaming up to take on the Savage Hulk. So he won't be the dumb, dopey, stupid hipster Hulk that you saw, in recent versions. And then She-Hulk. Instead, he's back to being, dumb, crazy Hulk. The version of the Hulk said to appear is closer to the classic rampaging comic book incarnation from earlier in the MCU, rather than the goofy smart Hulk played by Mark Ruffalo. How could Ruffalo play anyone smart? Additional rumored villains include Scorpion, Boomerang, Tombstone, Tarantula, and Lady Chameleon. Good Lord. With actors including Stephen Yeun and Sarah Snook. Lady Comedian, I think that's true. Scorpion's the one that makes the most sense because they've already introduced the character who becomes the Scorpion. So, but it looks like they keep wanting to clutter everything. Anyway, Zendaya and Jacob Batalon are said to be back. Sadie Sink stars in a mystery role. Lisa Colin-Zayas is said to be cast in an unknown role. I think one of these girls is going to be Black Cat. So in addition to his role in Spider-Man 4, Bernthal is also starring in a standalone Punisher special presentation for DP. According to social media posts, filming is scheduled for July 17th and July 18th at Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn, New York City. The special is written by Bernthal and Ronaldo Marcus Green, with Green also directing. It's set to premiere on DP sometime in 2026 as part of Marvel Studios' Phase 6 lineup. The NYC shoot further corroborates claims Marvel is pushing ahead with street-level characters like Punisher, Daredevil, and Spider-Man, especially with Spider-Man 4 filming set two in. You mean they're in Glasgow? Oh, jeez. Well, this is something they should have jumped on earlier instead of wasting time on these crappy movies they did, which cost them a buttload, when they could have done a lot of these street level stories a lot cheaper, and with characters people really wanted to see. They could have done that with Moon Knight, but they went with the supernatural stuff and everything like that. Oh, well, if there's a missed opportunity to find, Hollywood Studios will find it. It's just what they do. All right, one more, and then we're done. And, this one's a little sad, but inevitable. Yes. Zack Snyder unsure if Rebel Moon continues, if at all. Yeah, look, I wanted it to be good. It wasn't. With the release of the new Rebel Moon video game on Netflix, Zack Snyder spoke to Variety and gave an update on the franchise's future. And it's not sounding promising. While fans might expect more Rebel Moon sequels or spinoffs, Snyder cast doubt on whether anything else is even happening, saying he's taking a break from that world after the exhausting process of making both films back to back. Well, you make them too damn long. It was unnecessary. You didn't need to. Anyway, he says, I got sidetracked into this. Not sidetracked. It's all uptown problems, as they say, for Netflix. I'm working on an LAPD SWAT movie, Snyder told Variety. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to just sort of let that Rebel Moon world boil for a minute. And I'm going to go do this. And frankly, it was a very exhausting, long process doing the two movies together. So it was nice to have a bit of a break from it. I love it like crazy, but it's nice to have a bit of a break. Yeah, okay. There's tons of stories. Really? There wasn't much of one in this one, but so I mean, I think it's endless, but again, like I say, I'm waiting to see how we want to end and in what way we would move forward, if at all. So there's a lot of stories, you just don't know what they are. Yeah. Anyway, the phrase "if it all stands out," as it sounds like Snyder may be done with Rebel Moon, that would line up with what his co-writer recently said, confirming the franchise is effectively dead unless a miracle happens. So he's got another project to move to, so at least he's got that. So meanwhile, Snyder is currently focused on his LAPD SWAT action movie for Netflix and also has a UFC drama titled Brawler in development. No release date has been announced for either project. Well, he's in the midst of doing it, so, Well, no surprise there. I was hoping it would be really cool and all that. It was originally a pitch he gave to Star Wars, and is how bad Star Wars has been of late. It's kind of wondering, why didn't they take it, But there's some elements of it in better hands and a better script, and rein a lot of that in. You might have had an okay film. But there was also a lot of stupid in it. And it's just too bad. He had a tough time with the DC experience, and especially the way they utilized the death of his daughter was particularly cruel, stuff like that. And I really wanted to see his Justice League, which I got to do. So I was hoping for the best, but man, and then he was going to do a zombie movie. And I was like, wow, this is cool, because his Dawn of the Dead, that's one of the best damn zombie movies I've ever seen. And so I had high hopes for it. And oh my God, Army of the Dead stinks. Looks cool. Very well shot. But that's all I can say about it. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that was bad. And so then I'm like, oh geez, I wonder, well, maybe Rebel Moon will just be this cool space. So the mythological cartoon thing with Zeus and Apollo and all that, the Twilight of the Gods, or no, Thor and not Zeus, Twilight of the God. Yeah, it's the Ragnarok story. Not really the Ragnarok story. And there's a girl boss character in it, but she's the daughter of giants. So, she's got magic blood in her and stuff. But probably of these projects, that was his best effort. Too many dicks in it and stuff, but it's cartoon. So, but anyway, probably the best of the three. So it's kind of sad, but I think with all the hype and stuff with release of Snyder Cut and all that sort of thing, he got a little swell headed. I think that's the case. And maybe he's coming down to earth, literally, with a UFC movie and a SWAT team movie. Maybe those will be better. Again, with all things concerning movies and shows and all that stuff, time will tell. It will indeed. There we go. We're done. So, Fantastic Four, glow-in-the-dark condoms, LOL. Lugs McGurkin, if you swap the genders in that story, I'd be completely mortified, needless to say. I hope that the young man gets the help and high fives he needs to get on with his life. Well, yeah. Don't swap your gender. It doesn't go well. Lugs McGurkin, Reed has a good scientific mind. Plus, he can grab onto stuff far away and try to pull them back very slowly. I imagine that is helpful around the lab. Nodak, I'm just sitting here for either an arm fell off boy or Matter Eater Lad movie. Yeah, well, he's recast Nathan Fillion as a Guy Gardner. And of course, Arm Fell Off Boy was killed in the Suicide Squad, so probably won't see him unless they recast. So I guess that's possible. That could be. I don't know. Luke McGurgan. So I got a kick out of something. And okay, I guess that'll wrap all this up. I guess I can play this little thing.
It's said that King Arthur was Britain's greatest ruler. Well, he got the throne by pulling a sword out of a rock. This gave him a massive hernia. He turned to Merlin, but eating rat tails and rubbing frog guts all over will not cure a hernia. Anyway, he couldn't fuck all that well on account of his condition. So his wife turned to Lancelot. Yeah, he hired a guy named Lancelot to guard his horny wife. So Lancelot lanced her, a lot. Meanwhile, Arthur got seduced by his sister, and their inbred offspring did him in. It's all sad if not so stupid. Still, though, Britain would be better off with a ruler like Arthur today.
Well, there you go. Courtesy of Super Tip AI voice. Cool, huh? I got another one of Gavin with Captain Hook. Then there's the one with Anthony talking about Tarzan. I got another one I need to do with Anthony's voice talking about Spider-Man. Yeah. All right. Nodak, Arm Fall Off Boy origin story. Yeah, I don't remember. Luke's McGurkin. I don't know if it's your style, but have you tried to watch Nathan For You or The Rehearsal at any point? He's kind of a supervillain / superhero in his own right. No, I have not seen these, so I'll have to make note of that. Luke's McGurkin, his power is very well directed sociopathy. Luke's McGurkin, Nathan Fielder, I mean. Nodak, that was awesome. Thank you. I drew the cartoons myself. The backgrounds, of course. Look, AI comes in handy, I said, show me Camelot and that, and Arthur's bedroom, Merlin's workshop, and a medieval wasteland, I think is how I put it, for the final scene of Arthur and Mordred battling it out. Of course, I used the armor from Excalibur. That's a cool movie. I mean, it's got Helen Mirren in it, in her prime. All right, there we go. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you staying up with me with all this crazy shizniz. Oh, wait, I ended on Nailsin ratings, so I guess I have to play the Nailsin ratings in theme. That's how that works. So we'll do that. And I'll see you guys next week. Or I guess if I'm able, I can do a morning live stream Saturday morning, but definitely do on Sunday for Sunday comics. And I'll read you a comic book story. Yeah. Oh, well.